I still can't believe how. Hey, we are live. Good morning. Good morning. And I was wondering, before folks, sometimes come in, we have a couple minutes. Maybe we should do one of those things where we be like, "Hey, new Blerd order will be live in 5 minutes." Yeah, you ever
Yes.
see people do that type of thing? Like, "Yo, we will be live in 20 minutes."
Yeah, I love those things. The only thing is when you we'll have to be like, new blurred order will be live in about 7-ish minutes. Like we'd have to do it like that because you know how we are.
We can never really pinpoint the exact time because it's
Yeah.
so.
The countdown would keep changing and stuff. It'd be like, it just said 30 seconds. Now it says 45 seconds. What the hell?
Yo, it'll be like new Blerd order will be live soon. It'll just say it won't be no time frame on it because we just gonna be like, yo, look, new Blerd order. We coming up at some point in time.
So we're gonna pull up like Netflix. You know how they have their movies coming out like coming soon doesn't give you a date. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, yeah. At least Netflix has gotten on my nerves. Am I the only one where Netflix? Like, I feel like it's loud as hell. Why is Netflix so involuntarily loud? Like, do you ever log on to Netflix and it you gotta like turn your whole volume down?
Yeah, and if the show has a theme song, it's over. That theme song is gonna be waking up the neighbors and stuff. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah. And then the dialogue comes on. It's like, hey, what did you? It's like, okay, damn.
Right. The action is like so loud, and then Tyrone, you can't even like navigate between the titles because they show a preview of it. If you put like your control over it, so like if you try to sneak downstairs to watch Netflix in the morning, it's like every preview, the loud action. This is a complete mess, which is why we will be discussing something off of Disney Plus this morning. Good morning. It's the new Blerd order. So as some of you all know, this week dropped the new episode of What If. Yes, What If was on the docket, and I'm here for it. And so is Yaz. What's going on, Yazzie?
What's up, guys? How you guys feeling this morning after it's been a full week since we've been home from Megacon? Isn't that crazy?
I know. I miss you guys so much, but it's okay. I'm cool with all of that work. It did prove to be a lot of work. We'll talk about that. Tyrone is in the building. What's going on?
Good morning. It's always good to be here with y'all. Yeah, dude, it was nice to spend that weekend, and it was such a cool weekend. And I was telling Ty and Yaz on Wednesday, I was like, man, I was driving away. I was like, I'm feeling a little bit sad. There's like a little bit of nice sadness coming. I'm gonna miss these guys.
Right.
That sadness, like when you're at the end of a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, the difference is this time you actually had part in writing, producing. Getting the coffee, like Tyrone was all over the place. Tyrone be like, "Need anything? Anybody need anything? You want Red Lobster? Oh, sure. I mean, it's right down the street. I can order something." And,
well, Yaz was killing it on like the engagement and stuff. So I would just be like, I'm gonna stay out of her way, let her do her thing. So if I don't mind being the assistant when somebody's over there killing it. Like I'll swallow my pride. I'll be the assistant. I'll get your coffee for you.
Yo, Yaz was literally everywhere. Like Yaz, like first of all, we got together this weekend, y'all. That's Tyrone in the Purple Rain, who actually looks like Prince. The more and more I look closer, the actual there's no cosplay needed. And then you have Yazzie. We've got Ty Leem over here, dressed up like he's been in a paintball fight or whatever that is going on, along with his lovely wife Amy. And there I am, looking like I do not want to take this picture.
Right.
I'm like the kids.
Your face, like it's so great.
Yeah, man.
This was the first day, and that was that was after a very, very long day. For a second, I didn't even remember taking this picture. Like I think for a while, my body was just kind of like on autopilot, and I think my brain might have been asleep the whole time.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. It was something else, man. But yo, we definitely saw and conquered Megacon. I don't know if y'all was ready for us or not, but I feel like we did our thing, especially since it was our first year even being at Megacon. Yeah, I mean, we wasn't even really truly expecting to go this year, bro. Mm-hmm. I mean, but Tyrone, it was your first con of any sort? No, you had been to cons before.
I had been as a visitor, and just participating in all the joy and the fun that comes along with it, but never kind of behind the scenes. And it was a really cool look at it because like you see the level of work that goes into it is insane. Like I couldn't even fathom it. It's like the way they set this stuff up and break this stuff down the way they do as quick as they do. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but Yaz, it was your first time going to a con, is that right?
I mean, as a vendor, yes. I mean, my mom and I go to cons every single year together. So like,
oh yeah, my bad, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. Well, I know somebody whose time it was their first time at a con. This guy right here.
Yo.
I like how he just pops in out of nowhere. What's up, Bad Ty?
What's goody, man?
Wow, we can Ty. If I didn't know any better, I would think you might have just woke up. I don't know.
You'd be thinking right.
Nah, I mean, like since Megacon, like since last Sunday, like you've been sleeping this whole time. In that, you all right, bro? You good, man? You want some Ovaltine, man? You need some.
No, man. I woke up last night and COVID was trying to sneak in my bed and shit. Like shit, we ain't even talking nothing. Like, man, I ain't that type of guy, you know what I'm saying?
But you like to talk about how you and we know what I'm not even gonna go there this morning. Yet, you know what I'm saying? But I was gonna say, if there was a bed that COVID would feel comfortable jumping in, it would be you and Amy's bed. Is all this is. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up. Anyway, bro, we were just talking about the con, bro. I mean, you were there too, man. We got you on here, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing. We had our group meet up. You know what I'm saying? For, wine and spritz in the parking lot, amongst other things. So I'm just saying, like, as your first con, like everybody else is like, yeah, I've been here, but as a patron, not a vendor, it's different for them, but this is your first time being at a con, period, bro. What was your experience, man? Talk to us, man, from a first time. I'm really eager to hear this shit.
I mean, it was super exciting, man. You know me, I had my anxiety because there's so many people and I just didn't want to, COVID was really, really bothering me. But outside of that, man, like just seeing the level of intricacy in the costumes, detail, just how people were just interacting and having a good time. It's really a pleasant feeling to see so many people of so many different colors. You know what I'm saying, races, creeds, all being able to come together and enjoy a moment that they, that kind of, it for me, it was just great. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a great experience. I got to meet Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, you met Bruce Leroy, bro. Yeah, was he glowing? Tyrone went with you, right?
Yeah, I had to witness that.
Yeah, Tyrone went with me, and yo, man, that was like for the culture, man. Bruce Leroy. Yeah, man. To meet the dude, he was real humble. Yeah, man. But that was one of the highlights of the whole Megacon for me, was being able to meet him. But like I said, if you haven't ever been to a Megacon, do yourself some justice and go. Just to go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not into the nerdy stuff, like I said, the detail to that people took and the time that people took to put together those costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, man, it was awesome.
So is that like the biggest deal for you, was the costumes? I can't tell if the costumes was the highlight or if it was Bruce Leroy himself.
No,
it was Bruce Leroy, 100%.
Yeah, watch it out. You know how when you're a kid, you used to stay up late on Christmas Eve so you could catch Santa and steal all the toys and stuff. Well, like it was like that. It was if Ty had actually caught Santa and was like, "Oh shit, what up, Santa?" Like I love your work. I appreciate the toys, like that kind of stuff. It was like that. The joy was so real, and I was just so happy to be witnessing it.
Yeah, I had to send my female variant home because she was getting real home. She was ready to give Bruce Leroy the pussy, and I was like, "Whoa!" I thought it was just me and you. I didn't know that this was, we was open to that. But
that's funny.
But yeah, Yeah,
it does open up some really fun role play opportunities, though, because I feel like you could pull off Show Enough, Ty, if you really wanted to, and you could y'all could do a whole thing, just record it and sell it in that last month of OnlyFans and make some money.
Yo, he's on the
OnlyFans is taking out nudity, so you can't sell on OnlyFans. You'd have to create a new website.
Well, you got one more month left. One more month left.
Wait. Let's be clear. I thought it said it took away porn. Not
explicit
nudity.
explicit sexual content
nudity.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Nudity is part of that. So yep. I already have. Trust me. I woke up this morning and I scroll through Instagram, on my model page, and I'm like looking at my model friends that are like, hey, fuck fans only. They want to take out the nudity. Go to my new website and check me out. All exclusive. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, we upgraded. We got websites now. Like
support small businesses.
Yep. For sure.
I too woke up scrolling through Yaz's model friends, looking and just kidding. But yeah, man, I thought that was pretty dope. I mean, once again, we not only attended con, and my favorite part is frankly geeking out over the costumes, looking at the cosplay, being able to visit the comic book shops, re-upping on comic books. Getting a little bit of merchandise, but just seeing the costumes was crazy. I mean, we saw some really dope ones. I mean, we got a lot of them are in the group. So if you're in the New Blerd Order Facebook group, Yaz, of course, our faithful leader in the world of marketing, has uploaded tens of thousands of pictures that were taken from the weekend. But I think I ain't gonna lie. What sparked the interest in Bruce Leroy to begin with was the fact that Show Enough came to our booth. It showed up at the booth. It was like, oh, snap. And then there was some other dude, I think from the news or something, and his name was Leroy. And it was like, oh, what up, Leroy? He's like, oh. And then Ty was like, oh, yo, Bruce Leroy. And then he was like, nah, he's here. He's like, yeah, I know. We calling you. He's like, no, the real Bruce Leroy. He's actually here. He's like, what? What? For real? For real? For real?
He said, hold on. He started walking immediately, and he's like pushing over like Batmans and Supermans and stuff like that. I mean, Ty was walking around like Thanos in Infinity War, just knocking everybody out. Went and met Bruce Leroy. So happy. It was
the best part was Tyrone. This happened right after Ty was like, yeah, man, there's too many people around here. I'm about to head out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really should be here. I feel like I'm going to get sick. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be around nobody no more. What? Bruce Leroy? Where? Where?
That is exactly how that shit happened. Like you hit it on the nail, man. Like I was like, I'm about to go, and Tyrone was like, well, the real Bruce Leroy's here. I was like, what? The real Bruce Leroy? He was like, yeah, right over there. I was like, oh no, come on, show me. And he told me, look, man. Once I saw Bruce Leroy, man, I knew they was. I was like, yo, man, like they was like, yeah, you got to pay for a picture. They probably could have charged me $100, and I probably would have still paid.
It's not too late,
right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We can still make that happen if you want. What did he say to you again? He said, did he have a bullet in his mouth, or was he? The conversation really was more like, just me thanking him for what he did for the culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? I let him know. I was like, you are technically our first real Black superhero. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, low key, like everybody forgot about Bruce Leroy, and Bruce Leroy was probably at the time our most reputable Black superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like he actually wasn't corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, once he found out that he had the power and the glow, bro, like you ain't want to make. Look, this dude was catching bullets in his teeth, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is man. So, we just chopped it up a little real quick, man, and he was real humble. I asked him about his martial arts, and he said he was doing martial arts since he was a kid, so he really is about that life. And he was like, I'm just real. He was just like, like I ain't with all that tough guy stuff and nothing like that, but come this way, just know it's real. All right, so can we break some news real quick? Because if I'm not mistaken, he may or may not have brought up the topic of Last Dragon 2.
Yes.
And he may or may not have given you some unsolicited insight into Last Dragon 2. Am I right, Ty?
Well, he did, in fact. Now the may or may not is whether it is true. Now as far as what he told me when I mentioned, I was like, yo, you know how they really need to do a reboot. He immediately, as soon as I said that, said, oh, it's coming. And he said, then he was like, pandemic, so there must have been some type of delay or whatever, but I guess there's rumblings about it, and I'm here for it, man.
Yo, so Last Dragon 2
will be dope.
Starring Jaden Smith.
No.
Please don't do that. Please don't.
He was already a Karate Kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just keep the.
By that time, he'll be too old when the movie comes out to be too tall. That growth spurt thing happens. You
don't want to see Last Dragon. You don't want to see Bruce Leroy in a kilt, walking down the streets of the Bronx.
No.
So you're thinking like, wait, are we talking about How to Train Your Last Dragon? Is that what's happening now?
Yeah.
Hey, we actually did. We did see the How to Train Your Dragon family. Actually, the dad. We had the daughter and the son actually at our booth. So if you guys didn't miss that, definitely check it out. It's on our Facebook page. It was super dope to meet them. They were amazing in costume.
Yeah.
Yes. And do us a favor. If you do know what the link tree is, hit the link tree. And if you have pleasant moments of your cons, if you were at Megacon, send us a message, send us some pics. We want to talk more. We want to try to get a little more interactive with the during the week, stuff as well. So whoever it is, if you did go to Megacon, if you're in the group, drop them pics. Let us know if you stop by. There were a few folks that did drop and tag us in the photos because they came out and they seen us at the booth, which was surreal. You know what I'm saying? It was weird sometimes because I felt like Yaz would get fans that would come up and be like, it's you, it's you, you're Yaz. And we'd be like, yeah. And me and Tyrone would be in the back like, all right, do they know that?
No.
We're on the show too, my face is on the picture, you know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, yeah, it's really you. It was just like, all right, that's what's up. But now, I mean, obviously we know why. And plus, one thing that y'all don't realize that we'll talk about real quick before we get into the what ifs and what if episode 2 is that Yaz single-handedly held down this entire Megacon, merch-wise, sales-wise, everything from head to toe, from A to Z. Yaz did not let a person go by without stopping them and making sure that they knew that not only we existed, but she asked if they were in the podcast. It was funny. She asked she had a few different pitches, right? One of them was like, hey guys, you guys like podcasts? And then they'd be like, no. But well, what if it was a nerdy podcast?
Yeah,
well, I guess I could. Well, hey, check us out, guys. We're going to be on this every Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Remember Saturday morning cartoons? Yeah, we're the new Saturday morning cartoons. You know what I'm saying, Doc? So go ahead. And she had a whole book for every single person. She was on point. I don't know where she came up with the energy because she was still like this even when we got to the Airbnb afterwards. She was still lit. It's tight. Look, I don't want to put nobody on blast, but we tried to calm things down afterwards. Using aromatherapy of sorts, all right? And nothing could slow Yaz down, bro. That was nothing. Yaz is in full sales mode, and we love it, man. And so, real quick, Yaz, man, we just wanted to big you up real quick. Just in case you didn't know, Yaz won the week. You know what I'm saying? She took off of work.
Listen, I couldn't have done it without my confidants, okay?
Wow.
Tyrone, Vince, you guys helped out when it needed to be I asked, you did it. So, y'all made the whole thing work out. It wasn't just me. It was a group effort, okay? So I appreciate it.
You say that, bro, but I'm gonna keep it real, bro. Look, wasn't none of us finna talk to everybody, especially not Tylene. Tylene didn't talk to nobody. Bruce Leroy was the only one he spoke with. He damn near didn't speak to his own wife because of COVID fears.
Tylene was social distancing, and I appreciate it. It was he was waving. Got a good wave.
Yeah.
People got a good wave.
I was air fist bumping people from afar. Like I don't even want like the real fist bump. But Yaz, man, I mean, it was crazy. Like Yaz had people. I remember the last day. I think people were coming up like, "Yo, we came back to get merch. We told you we was coming back." You know what I'm saying? Like, like she had people checking in with her. like, yo, where's that? Okay, hey, I told you we would be back. And then for a small second, Tyrone, it felt like she was starting to build up a line of groupies that was just there just to hang out with Yaz. At one point, I thought because Austin was there too, and there was one dude. I think he was dressed up. I don't remember the dude with the grid. Yeah, Static Shock, who basically just stood by like he came back, and he was just like, yeah. So, and I could tell you because he had that tilt that I'm trying to holler tilt. You know what I'm saying? He had that. What are the cons do you do? Like, do you ever do like Blerd Con or like Dragon Con? And Yaz is like, well, Doc, like my fiance Austin. You know what I'm saying? Him and I like to. You know what I'm saying? But it was dope, man. It was hella dope. We also got to do our first panel, man. As you all can imagine, it was crazy. If we can recap, I said, hey guys, so the panel has to be PG, right?
Oh my God.
So we're not necessarily supposed to curse because, and sure enough, when we do look up at the audience that is there, which wasn't huge. It wasn't huge. It was a few dozen people, few dozen. But on the first row is a young boy, must have been about 5 or 6, with his dad who was dressed up as I think it was Deadpool. Yep. And Yaz, of course, in true sailor fashion, proceeds to simply obliterate all clean show prospects by being like, look, the fuck, dog. Like, I mean, and I mean, she let go. Now it was hilarious. I don't think that Deadpool was offended, but I do think that he was like, all right, I didn't know there was going to be, words. Everybody else didn't give a fuck. Once we got rid of, I won't say once we got rid of, but once Deadpool and them left, it was all no holds barred. But we had our panel, and how cool was that, bro? I don't know if anybody here came to the panel. I think Lisa actually showed up to the panel. I don't know if she's here today.
We got Chase and Miranda Smith checking in. It looks like we met them at the con. I don't know if they were at the panel or not, or if they just came to the table. I feel like they might have been at the panel, but yeah, it's cool to see y'all checking in, especially since we just met this, past weekend at Megacon. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's okay. So they were there at the panel. Yeah.
We grow one viewer at a time, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you being there.
Yes,
appreciate you being here.
You guys coming by, checking us out. I remember you guys. What is up?
Yeah.
It was a great weekend with you guys.
Go ahead, my bad.
Lisa, don't worry. I will get you that shirt. I'm sorry. The website had to be delayed another day. It will be up on Monday. I'm having technical difficulties with my my designer, so I will make sure it is done, and you will get your merch. I promise. Okay.
That's Yaz speak for. I'm about to choke somebody.
I'm about to get on a plane legit and find this person, and we're like gonna have words and face to face, because I can't convey my feelings over like text in the computer. Yeah. So.
Thank God.
But I'll get you guys your merch. Don't worry. I promise it will be available very, very soon. Okay, just give me a couple more days. I'm so sorry for the delay.
Oh, let's ye believe that Yaz is only doing one shirt order. Yaz is on demand.
Oh yeah.
Uncomfortably, if we may say so. It's to the point we got to tell folks like, look, bro, calm down. You know what I'm saying? It's on the way. All right.
It's coming.
We don't get paid extra for doing things to your, customized for you. So we haven't even gotten that part figured out yet. But yeah, it was dope, man. One time for the purple elf was that Miranda and Chase.
Yep.
Yo, good looking out for y'all. They were on my side. I think when it came down to the Tobey Maguire being one of the best Peter Parkers, but they were the only ones. Everybody else was like, boo! Toby sucks. Toby. I was like, all right, man, calm down. Man.
I hope they're sitting there, and I hope right now they're typing, "No, we weren't." Don't put that on us.
Oh man, I hope you were, man. Anyway, they were a delight to have. There were so many folks that were in there. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. If you look at the front of that booth, that's the level of organization that we pretty much had. It was done last minute in terms of getting everything together. I had to put, you see, like there's the charger for the phone, the speaker, which we played some music. We had a projector screen. I mean, of course, these are things that you typically will see in a panel, but it was just dope as hell to look out. And like I said, before I move on, a couple of highlights of this panel. First of all, that people showed up, because I was convinced that was nobody going to show up, bro. I was like, hold up, man. This shit is on Saturday at 11 a.m. in a room that nobody knows where it's at. Yeah, we're going to be talking to each other. We're probably going to have to go live. But sure enough, I think it was about 30 folks, maybe somewhere between 25 and 30, 35, something like that. Now, 30 folks sounds like it's great. I mean, it was a room that seated 500. But it's
at least 500, at least, yeah.
But to be honest, Vince, man, listen, if you would have gave me probably 470 more bottles of nipple cream, I probably, because I was outside the door. That's why I was late. Just to be honest, that's kind of why I was late. Is because I was outside, running around grabbing people, and I was letting them know if they came to our panel, they would get a free bottle of Fence nipple cream.
No, all right, okay.
Yeah. So next time, let's just come with more nipple cream.
So nipple cream's the answer, my friend. All right.
So for those who are just new to this whole nipple cream thing, if you watched our live panel on Instagram, I'm sorry, I was half asleep, guys. I forgot to push the Facebook live on that one instead of Instagram one. But if you watched on Saturday, we actually were talking about nipple cream and how it works and all that good jazz and everything. So that is why we're mentioning it right now. But I actually also got a heads up that we were actually we were mentioned on Spectrum TV for our podcast at Megacon this weekend. I've been trying to look it up, but my mom texted me on Monday and she was like, "Hey, your cousin saw you guys on Spectrum TV." She's like, "Hit her up." And like, yeah, I've just been kind of in a daze, so I forgot to do that. But yeah, I've been trying to like Google it, but I mean, I haven't. Obviously, if you Google us, it's really cool how much shit pops up with us and our name on it. It's really, really cool. But I haven't been able to find the actual, the pop-up or anything like that actually, she saw. So I'll definitely have to hit her up and find that. But anyone who did see it or has Spectrum TV and watches it, if you find us on there, please, screenshot it or take a video or something so we can kind of see, what it mentioned about us, because that is super freaking awesome. Oh, my God. Yeah,
so you saying we was mentioned on Spectrum TV?
On Spectrum TV
still haven't gotten it. That's what's up, man. Look at that. And it probably was we don't
even know when we're on TV. We're like, yeah, we're probably on TV, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I guess they were doing because the Orlando Tribune has been doing tidbits on Megacon all weekend long. So that's how I even knew that there was going to be a Stanley lookalike. Remember, I grabbed him at a whole bunch of, what I'm saying? We stopped the crowd for them to take a picture of Stanley in front of our booth. It was that serious. I was like, "Stanley!" And he came back. He came back and was like, "Hey," I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "Dude, I read an article that you were here this morning." He was like, "You did?" I was like, "Yeah, it was in the Orlando Tribune." And I was telling him all about it. And he was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for letting me know this." I was like, "Okay, the real reason I stopped you was, can I take a picture, please?" He was like, "Hell yeah." He's like, "Mask on or off?" And then I was looking at him. I was like, "It doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable with." This man said,
"Yo, bruh, that Stan Lee looked perfect, bruh."
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a picture of him on here if we can. But the dude looked exactly like Stan. But here's what I took away from that experience, real quick, guys. The fact that this dude looked like Stan Lee, I mean, naturally, meant that he was probably in his 70s. What would you say? 70s, maybe 60s?
I would say he's maybe in his mid to early 70s.
Right, mid to early 70s. You hear me? And he's at Megacon cosplaying. You see what I'm saying? How dope is that? He's still up there. Let's just say he's up there in age or whatever. But he in the latter half of his life, and I hate to speak so morbidly, but I mean, let's just keep it real. I mean, the latter half of his life, he's out there in full on cosplay at a con, bro. Like, are you feeling my drift right here? Like, how dope I mean, am I tripping, or is that like dope as hell that I have that to look forward to? Like, you know, with this culture, you can still enjoy yourself. There's no ageism. You know what I'm saying? You are who you are, wherever, whenever you are, even when you're at the tender age of 70 something.
Yeah.
You're looking exactly like Stan. Like, tell me this dude don't look exactly like Stan Lee, bro. Like, for real.
I feel you though, and I think that's one of the best things about the con, and the best thing about nerd culture, period, is that like it's the most diverse crowd of people,
right,
that you will ever see in your life. Like, whether it's age or gender or race or whatever else, it's the most diverse crowd of people. Everybody just like super happy with what they're doing at the moment, and just feeling love and feeling excitement. It's cool as hell. So yeah, I would understand why at 70, something years old, this dude's still coming back, still dressing up, smiling that big.
Look how perfect he looks. Like, I couldn't get over it. And like, I just want to give myself and my Android real quick, my shitty Android, like the credit it deserves. Okay. Like, look how perfect he looks, and look how blurred out everyone else looks. Like, hell yeah, Android. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, but just to Tyrone's point, I mean, let's flip from there, right, with Stan Lee to now this young group of nerds, led by my daughter right there. If you see her in the middle, Kiera, who's a popular character from My Hero Academia, if you can't tell who she is, surrounded by the Teen Titans with one large picture of Yaz in the background, Tyrone's face, and of course, your boy Austin.
Look at Austin with the photo bomb, like straight up. Okay.
He was like, "I'm gonna be on the New Blerd Order, damn it!
Right.
I'm gonna do it."
He's like, "I'm part of the crew. Don't forget."
Yeah, he definitely is, man.
These two, actually, the Teen Titans are actual wrestlers in Orlando. So if you guys actually are like, interested in seeing them, they're on Instagram. They're super cool people. Definitely check them out. Let me look up what their name is real quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. They were wrestlers too.
Yeah, both of them are wrestlers in Orlando. Actually, like they wrestle with like this girl I actually have modeled with. So like super dope.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of cross pollination of different different groups doing different things. Wrestlers and different podcasters and people with shows and comedians. Like, we were running into all kinds of people.
Yeah,
who were doing similar stuff. It was really cool. It was. Even between the vendors, we got to shout out our neighbors, by the way, to the booth, because we were all like first time, con vendors or whatever. Yeah. And we had cool neighbors to either side. We had Murphy from Mert Comics, and she was a creator and a writer of a comic, and she helped us immensely. And on the other side, we had a game accessories company, and the dude was helping us back and forth, hooked us up with some products that we're testing out and stuff. So it was a good experience, man. We made a lot of friends, had a good time, and just, man, it was so positive. Yeah, just the positivity.
100%, 100%. One of the things we did as well was we tried to cosplay. I jumped on. This is Tyrone's Shields and my Miles Morales. It worked out for a little bit. One of my favorite costumes we saw was Chef, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be a current character like this. The motherfucker is Chef. I want to make love to you, baby. Lay her down by the hello, children. And that's like, you was going around saying hello, children to the children.
Hello, children. Yeah, just killing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do. That's another one of the things I like about cosplay about con, especially Megacon, is that you don't have to go as Sam Wilson. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be freaking old boy was show enough. I mean, how old is Last Dragon? You know what I'm saying?
So do you remember the Black Ivy? I was like trying to figure out his outfit like for a while. I was like, okay, he's got vines.
Oh, the Poison Ivy dude with dreads and stuff like that. Yeah.
Because I was like looking at him and people were like, can I take a picture of him? And I was like, are you like the dude version of Poison Ivy? And he's like, yeah. And I was just like, okay, but you're in underwear.
Yeah.
Like mine.
I didn't know that's
what
it was.
I was like trying to figure him out for a minute. Like, and he was watching me looking at him too. Like, what the fuck is he? Like,
he was at home like, what costume will allow me to wear my drawers?
For sure. 100%.
Nah.
He's just like standing there too, just like
yeah.
You know, like I was just like, man, this guy's great. This guy's fucking. I love his self-esteem, bro. He's killing it. You know.
Yeah. There were definitely some dudes in there that looked like some. Well, I mean, I hate to use this word and give the media permission to label us, but that looked like some stone cold thugs. There's some dudes that looked like they was waiting for you in the parking lot that were in full Cinderella dresses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's funny because I remember there was a moment where because you know, I don't know how often there was some con participation before, but there was a moment where people were like, all right, there's a lot of cross-dressing happening, and I was like, yeah, no, gender bending is a very popular part of cosplay. It's like it's a thing. It's like people, you know, you see it both ways. It's a lot of fun, and it's another part of the con that I was like, this is just cool. Everybody's just doing whatever the hell they want to and enjoying the hell out of it. Yeah, it was cool.
We had the male Scarlet Witch, remember?
Yeah, he said he was calling himself. Yeah, he killed that shit. Yeah.
The
we called
Scarlet
a picture
Mitch,
of that. Yeah.
We called him. I think it was right?
Scarlet Mitch. Yeah, or he was.
Yo, he was Bijan too. Okay, let's not forget.
Bijan was hilarious.
Okay, so
Bijan was great.
Black Thor was featured in Megacon's video for 2021. Like his black Thor costume. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it the other day, and I sent it to him on Instagram. I was like, bro, you're on the trailer for fucking 2021. He was like, no way. I was like, and you were slamming that hammer, my man. He was like, no. He checked it out. He was like, thank you so much. He's like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. He's a podcaster too. So he was, oh my God, he's awesome. I freaking love that guy.
Oh yeah, he was a podcaster. Cool. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we ran into a drag queen who was dressed as Winnie from Hocus Pocus.
Yes, yeah, she killed it with her eyes.
Yeah, she was killing, and it was as Austin and I were walking out, and this drag queen, she was hilarious, just the whole time. It was like she had just not turned it off. Like it was like getting a show on the way out. She was great. Look great. We should have taken a picture, but I was like, yes.
Oh, I got a picture
of her. Let this person go to their car. So, okay, good. Yeah, you're going to have to share that picture.
I got a picture of her when she came in because I saw, we were walking and I saw her when she was inside the con. I was like, first thing she came in, she came right by, but I was like, honey, oh, no. I was like, please stop. I got to get this picture. And she was just like, I was like, your beard, damn, you are killing this shit right now. I was like, oh, girl, your eyebrows. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I got a picture of her when she came in and she was like in her prime. That's why it was so funny when we were leaving and we saw her. That's why I just kept talking to her because I was like, yo, this person is awesome. I want to be friends with them. And I actually follow her on Instagram now and she's a boss.
Okay. Yeah, and shout out to all the cosplayers who left the cosplay looking like they did when they arrived. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. And congratulations, because damn, like I don't know how y'all spent. I spent those hours in jeans and a t-shirt and looked like I had been in a fight.
Well, we spent like 12-hour days on our feet nonstop. You were clutch. And so I mean I understand why, you know, we look the way we did coming in and out, you know, so it's okay.
This dude gets we should have get awards because this dude definitely gets my award for the most creative, one of the most creative costumes. I mean, who would have thought about doing Vision from the memes from Vision? Like, that's hilarious. And I think that's the type of stuff we were seeing out there, man. And
that was great.
It wasn't even uncommon. Like, that's what it was. So one time for Megacon 2021, we came, we saw, we conquered, we learned many things. It was a learning experience, but it was a pleasant and positive one.
For sure.
And hopefully we can do it again. And next time, hopefully not as much of a concern about airborne diseases, because that kind of took away from the enjoyment. I ain't gonna lie, like we normally see people in mask and cosplay, but there were mask police at Megacon. So if you're one of these guys, you know, somebody, hey, get that thing up. You know what I'm saying? That thing's got to be over the nose, as it should be. So again, this year I went as well. I got to give my daughter some love real quick, man. I went as a Tick from Lovecraft Country. I didn't even see that the project was there to take our pictures, but I did get a good shot of my young one. This is her on the left-hand side, going as Topsy, and from Topsy and Bopsy from the Lovecraft Country show. She definitely took the character serious, but it was a grueling pose. So I think she did this pose like 2 or 3 times. It was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore because I think it makes her head hurt. But she did her thing there. So one time for my little one, my oldest used to be my go-to when it comes to doing the outfits, but she's getting a little grown, and you know her man is taking her away from me, and it is what it is. As I said before, also I did the cosplay thing with Miles Morales. I also had my Black Panther outfit. I didn't end up dressing up as Black Panther, but I thought that it was interesting because Black Panther ended up becoming a theme for the week. If you all recall, Tyrone was talking about how Black Panther was recently released on that new Avengers game, right?
Yeah.
So we're literally playing Avengers on Tuesday. Black Panther was released on the Avengers PlayStation game. Because it's exclusively a PlayStation, right?
Oh no, it's all platforms.
I was gonna say, I think it's all platforms. Yeah.
Okay, so it was on that. So Tyrone and I, we geeked out on Black Panther on that. And then, obviously, as we discussed at the header of the show, we were pleasantly, I don't know if it was a surprise or not, pleasantly given a episode all about none other than T'Challa himself, voiced by none other than Mr.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman himself. And the episode was, frankly, dope as fuck. It was tear jerking.
I was thinking, did you cry? I cried a little bit.
I ain't gonna lie, like it was a hard one to watch. If you like Chadwick Boseman, bro, like this shit brings back some really sore memories about how dope of a motherfucker he was, how good his accent was. I mean, because you can hear, even though it's not even him, right? You could hear his accent, and you knew that it was like, you know, Chadwick Boseman that was voicing him, man. So Yes, I was going with yes. Yes, I'm assuming you saw the episode, right?
I definitely did, yes.
What's your thoughts, man? I mean, anything stand out to you? You typically break these down pretty cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I really loved how like this twist was on this story. I liked how he was Star-Lord, you know, instead of you know, his mom dying, you know what I'm saying, and his family like dying, you know, and all that. Like he just wanted to explore and escape, you know what I'm saying, and he ran away to find the, you know, his what he called was his universe, you know, and he found Yondu and became Star-Lord. So I mean, I thought it was cool. I also love the fact that, you know, the respect that Star-Lord wanted and never got, he automatically it was automatically like a thing, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like, oh, Star-Lord, oh, and he's like, no, you know. And I liked that they kept, you know, his humbleness about Chadwick Boseman, you know what I'm saying, and like, you know, him being the Black Panther, you know what I mean. I loved that. So I liked how they just combined those two things, you know, and like they had a twist of their own on them. So I thought it was really good, and I liked how, you know, the ending was where, you know, he found, you know, like that missing ship and everything, and he came back home. So I mean, I loved the story behind the story. So I really enjoyed what Marvel's doing with these twists on all of these like different stories that we already know and love. I'm totally digging the vibes.
Yeah. Yo, Bad Tie. You saw it, right?
Yeah, of course.
What you thought?
I think Marvel paid homage. I think they you know, when they did the What If and they switched him over to Star-Lord, they changed everything. They was like, you know, his whole journey throughout the universe is to help people. You know what I mean? Like, that's his thing. He wants to help, and you know, and it just further, you know, speaks to how they felt about Chadwick, how they viewed Chadwick. And just, you know, they wanted to make sure that I'm sure when they did this episode, they took a lot of care in how you know, they put it out. Even though I'm curious, did he, because of his voice was used, did he do this before he died?
Yeah.
Yes. This was his last.
It would have been impressive if he did it after he died.
Wow.
That was great. See, Tyrone, you see what I mean, though?
Well, you know what? You're right. Yo, it makes sense. And that was funny as hell. Okay, I guess I said that wrong. What I meant to say, I wondered if maybe that like what I was basically saying was, when they, that's funny.
Yeah, like I feel what you're saying. I know I had to, you know me, I have to take it. I have to take the opportunity. But yeah, I think what you're saying is like, did they basically because we always wondered. Vince
I can't with you right now. Oh my god, he's making me laugh harder than I was.
That was you got me. You definitely got me.
But yeah, we wondered like who knew and when did they know and stuff like that. So and I think there was an article and they talked about it and somebody had a quote where they were like Chadwick wanted to get every opportunity to put T'Challa out there, and he knew this was going to be one of his last opportunities. So it sounds like they were very aware of what was coming down the road for him, and they use this as an opportunity to create a beautiful story, and not just for Black Panther obviously, but for Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
So does that answer your question, Todd?
Well, yeah, because I mean the reason I said that is because it like throughout you see that they were kind of everything was pointing to Shuri taking over.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, how did they, did they splice stuff together and do it like that? Because it seems as though, as the story went on, it just kind of made it seem like they were just kind of paying homage to just him.
Well, I mean, it didn't seem. I mean, it felt like to me, I got more of a. First of all, this episode was, and this just again, I hate to do the Marvel dick riding every week, but this just once again speaks to the genius. This show was put together, written, and everything before he even announced, before he knew he had cancer. Like this saga was made so long ago. Like this is before we were talking about Loki and these are the like the central theme of this show, this episode was the Avengers Infinity War, right? Like that basically that if you could take a step back and look at when it was written, obviously it was meant to kind of dispel the whole structure of your mind and how things work. I mean, for God's sake, Thanos was on their side, you know what I'm saying? The Collector was the big enemy. So in that time frame, that's what they're focusing on the most, right? So at this point in time, this is when they're developing the story, which is more than likely when they did all of these voiceovers for it. And in that timeline, they managed to write in that Shuri, is going to be one of the future Black Panthers. Now, if we're speaking from a comic book standpoint, that's nothing new because we already knew that in the comics that's already what happened. So I don't know if this is something that happens because of Chadwick's unfortunate demise, or if it's just them leaning into the comics as Marvel tends to do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Tyrone, you saw it obviously. What's your thoughts, man? I mean, what stood out to you? What you dig about it, if anything?
No, I think what stood out to me is how carefully crafted these stories are. Like they're not just like, hey, let's take T'Challa and put him in Star-Lord's outfit and see what kind of fun happens. Like they're they're building. It's almost like there were several movies that had already built this character and his reputation and his his kind of fingerprints on the universe, because it's the choices that he made is what made this version of Star-Lord so revered amongst the people of the universe. Like I forgot the guy's name, but when he first encounters Star-Lord getting the orb, he was geeked out. He was so happy to see him. But because he was like this Robin Hood kind of character, helping out people around the universe, and it just kind of goes to show that there are parallels, but then there are also parts where this person's character and this person's integrity and stuff shine through. Peter Quill wanted to be known just as kind of like a badass, and he wanted to be known as an outlaw and that kind of stuff. He wanted to be known. T'Challa wanted to help, and he was known because of that. And it's those kind of parallels that they draw and those kind of distinctions that really, really give these things the life that pops out on screen. They're fantastic. I'm having such a good time with this What If series. I didn't think I knew I was going to enjoy it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it this much.
Yeah. I didn't know I was going to enjoy it, honestly. I was a little nervous. I mean, I think I'm starting to become the panel skeptic.
You think?
I mean, it wasn't. It was something about it that made me a little nervous. I was like, "What exactly is they doing with this?" Like, because once you start putting these things out in the universe, you start creating a demand for, these type of stories on this big screen. But they're supposed to be fictitious. Like the whole aspect of it is this is the watcher watching different timelines span, like pan out, and he's giving us his depiction of it. But that's not going to translate onto the movie. But now I'm sitting here and I'm like, holy shit, like Thanos is cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, well, look what happens when they give Nebula a little bit of a, maybe a little wig or something, you know what I'm saying? Put it on there and make it look a little sexy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, okay, I see what they doing, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I ain't mad. They even look like at some point, I don't know if y'all got these vibes, but I got like, Nebula and T'Challa had linked up vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she found him Cha-Cha.
Yeah. What's up with that, man?
There was some will they won't they going on there, and I liked it. I was like, okay, this is a cool thing because Nebula has always been a badass character. So, I mean, the bad part is like we're not gonna get another one of these stories anytime soon. So we just kind of have to leave it where it is and wonder and hope and speculate, which is part of the fun. But like, I would love to see more T'Challa Star-Lord. I mean, I would watch an entire T'Challa Star-Lord series. I'd probably watch an entire Peggy Carter Captain Carter series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're giving us more shit than we have time to watch, and I love it.
Yeah, you would watch a whole Captain Carter series?
Yeah, that episode was
100%.
amazing. I would absolutely watch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Okay. All right. I mean, I even though even though it was kind of weird, like the whole love relationship that she had with Steve Rogers, who looked like a microphone stand.
What was wrong with it? She just got like superhuman strength, and she was all buffed up and juiced up. That's the only difference. She just got some juice. You know what I'm saying? That's the only difference.
That's what Vince has a problem with is a strong woman.
You've seen Norbit?
I have seen Norbit, but that shit is different though. That bitch was like 5 times the size of him. Okay, not double.
All right. I digress. Have you seen Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood?
Yeah, that's what you need. Like, I think because Steve Rogers got heart. Like,
come on, baby girl, you know what I'm saying? Just the bubbles, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. When I drink, I get a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what I was picturing with Peggy.
It's hilarious.
I mean, obviously, you know what I'm saying? It happened, but yeah, look, Captain Carter's episode, hella dope. I don't. It actually was a little weird because I felt like they left it with a tiny bit of a cliffhanger. So I don't know. I don't know if I like cliffhangers on made up stories that we won't get any follow up on. But
all these stories are made up. Just so just want to be clear.
Well, yeah. I mean, that aren't necessarily central to the theme that has already been developed. Tyrone,
I had to get you because you enjoyed Talim too. I'm getting Talim too much.
I'm assuming that Peggy did this when she was alive. But I mean, because at the end, I mean, they basically brought her to the future where Nick Fury was. And it kind of like it's a believable scenario where you could be like, oh snap, maybe Peggy Carter was plucked from this timeline is now in this world of Avengers in which we're trying to fight off Loki, and we just had the Battle of New York. So I could see that happening, but with this particular episode, it sucks so bad because you're like, holy shit, like there's our guy. There's T'Challa, man. There he is. He sounds like himself. You can hear like the accent for the last time. And like you said, Tyrone, it was basically written that he wanted to get as many projects out there with Black Panther on it as possible. But I do have to say, if anybody stole the show, for me, it was one Howard the Duck who made his appearance playing in What If, and I frankly am now geeked up like fuck about the potential for Howard the Duck to be included in more Marvel series or more Marvel projects. I don't know why, if they haven't already started developing something, why they haven't already announced it, because I can't see Howard the Duck being rebooted and not being dope as hell. Now, I don't know about y'all. I think we've talked about this before, but I hope there is no Howard the Duck bullshit no slander about the Howard the Duck original movies on this panel, because let's just keep it real. It was one of our first superhero movies. We didn't even know what Marvel was, and it was dope.
It was rated R. It was rated R too, wasn't it?
It was rated R.
Was it rated R?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he was trying to get some of that ducktail.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was my first time seeing duck tit. I did see a duck tits. Woo! In this episode. And I mean, this is quite the transition, right? To go from Ninja Turtle Howard to CGI MCU Howard. And I think that they could go a long way with Howard the Duck, man. I don't know about y'all, but yes, you saw Howard the Duck. Did you see it when you was like younger? I mean,
yeah, I definitely saw it when I was younger, for sure.
All right, hold on. Let me pre-butt Tyrone, because I know what he's gonna say. You know, obviously, whenever she saw it, she was younger than she was today.
Technically, you're younger.
So,
yeah.
So So
I know what. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'm not gonna stop. I'm absolutely not gonna stop.
I'm not gonna stop. No, don't stop. Don't stop.
Yeah,
do you think we should? Do you think that we should explore this? Because now, originally, when I was thinking of a Howard the Duck reboot, I was like, okay, we get to go into that same universe. Howard's got to, find how it is he got here, how he gets back, how he keeps the bad guys from coming over. But now with this episode, I'm more like, well, shoot, Howard the Duck is a part of the MCU. He can actually be, like a fifth member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He can like have Rocket as one of his counterparts. He's now like embedded in this universe, and we can use any of these characters, man. And
he has shown up in a few movies already. Just like little brief moments or whatever. And I think you're right with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think he would make a perfect kind of like recurring character in Guardians of the Galaxy movies, or in that that kind of like cosmic space. I don't know if we'll ever get a Howard the Duck movie. Maybe a series or something, but I would love to see him as a recurring character who who just shows up in random movies and gives us some moments of greatness, and then is just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go do my thing now, just like he did in this What If episode. Like he was just like, he was there for a little bit, he helped out, and then he was like, okay, I'll see you later. Yeah,
he's becoming a character Easter egg. Tyrone. He's not even like he doesn't have any real significance. I mean, you could argue that he has some significance in this one, as he helped the child find a certain room or whatever. But he's starting to just be kind of like he's like the new Stan Lee a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Where he gets a quick cameo and we're like, oh shit, we're doing the Leo DiCaprio face. You know what I'm saying?
That would be perfect.
And then that's it. But I would like to see more. By the way, another one of those cosplays that we saw that you need to check out in the group is the cosplay of old boy from Invincible. Holy shit.
Yes.
Yeah, that dude.
We actually got Omni-Man and we got Invincible. We got both of them.
Oh, bro.
I didn't get them together, unfortunately, but I got both of them.
Yo, but the Omni-Man looked literally as if
I was like, oh shit.
Bro, that movie Cool World, where like the
Cool
cartoons
World
became human versions of, like, Omni-Man looked like he was a human version of his animated self. But I don't know, man. Go ahead.
Did you guys see the Tony Stark lookalike?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, so make sure you look in the group also. The Tony Stark lookalike, he was phenomenal. Like, it was so scary. I was standing in line, and Austin, he's taller than me, so he like saw him over people, and he was like, babe, Tony Stark is right there. And I was like, Tony Stark, where? And I turned around, and immediately I like looked, and I was like, yo, what the heck? Like, it looked like he just got up, put his suit on, put the little hand on, came out. Legit. Oh, wow. Like, he was like, and like just like combed his hair over a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like put some gel in it. Done. I made this man so like, I know I made his like him so mad, because like I was like, yo, Tony, can I get a picture with you? After I did that, like 8 people was like, Tony, please. And he was trying to eat his chips. So.
She left out the part where he was actually at the urinal at the time. Yeah, chased him into the bathroom.
I did accidentally walk into the guy's bathroom and then turned right back around. But no, I did not follow no one into no bathroom. Yeah, this dude was like watching me too. He told me he watched like 5 women walk into the bathroom, and I'm like, and you didn't say anything because
he's Tony Stark, billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Tony Stark. It was like some random dude. He was just like sitting by the bathroom, like just watching women like walk in and then realize it's the men's bathroom and then come out. And I'm like, you didn't say shit. The fuck?
Hell no,
Well, I watched this woman walk in and I didn't see her come back out, but I came back out. Like she came in and then like kept going. And I came in and I was like, well, this is a Jude's bathroom. I was following a chicken here. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I kept going like to find the girls' bathroom. It was weird.
Well, one thing that I was taught via Tyrone is that at Megacon, you cannot assume that anyone is a specific gender. So you have to assume that whatever they got going on is what they got going on. So that's
why I let go in. I walked out.
That's probably why you didn't see that. You're like, I followed this chick into the bathroom. It very well may not have been a chick. Somebody might have been gender bending costume. You're just like following some guy into the bathroom.
Yeah,
right, he was wearing a tutu.
Right, probably. I wasn't really looking at them, to be honest with you. Yep. I just saw like a woman's outfit and long hair, and like I saw her going to the bathroom, and I just followed her, and like I realized that shit, that wasn't this is a man's bathroom. I need to get out of here. Like so I walked and I was like looking around and I was like, where is the women's bathroom? And then I saw it and this dude was looking at me just like giggling, and I was like, did you just see me do that? He was like, yeah. I said, and you didn't say anything because? And he was just like, it was funny. I wanted to see if you were gonna stay or not. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, super funny. It's just like the dude with like the last day of Megacon, my tea. This dude I was like delirious. He seriously watched me like open syrup on the counter. I like looked at it, kind of like tried to smell it, but like without touching it. I was like, what is this? And then I just like poured it in my tea, thinking it was honey. And he came over after I was done, and he was like, you just put syrup in your tea. And I was like, I thought it was syrup. He was like, it is. It's pretty funny. I was like, oh well, where's the honey at?
I mean, syrup and tea, it
wasn't bad. I mean, I was like, he was like dying laughing. You remember that, Tyrone? You remember that fucking asshole? Yeah. And I was like, I should go make you go get me another tea. He was like, he got real serious real quick. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this fucking honey. I'm gonna drink this syrup in my tea, and I'm fucking go. I got
shit. Yeah, just like, I'm gonna drink this tea like a Canadian. I don't even care.
Right.
Yo, man. But what about the fact that oh shit, I just dropped something. But what about the fact that me dropping something made me lose my chain of thought. I don't remember what it was that I was. But I mean, you talk about going into bathrooms. Not to go too far ahead, but you ain't saved me when I went to the whole wrong bathroom, bro. Like I didn't know. That there's a thing going on. If I could take 30 seconds away from the air, where you can go to a bathroom and it could be a gender fluid bathroom. Okay, so I've gone in bathrooms over the last couple of years, y'all, where there's no man or female. You just go into the bathroom and and you go into your stall. All right. When you come out, there might be a woman washing her hands. It might be a family washing their hands. You know what I'm saying? So I have developed this notion that, listen, there's sometimes bathrooms that won't have a male or female label that goes along with it. So I went into the bathroom and, so there was a girl washing her hands at the sink. I was like, all right, you know what? Well, look at that. You know what I'm saying? Look at how open we are. I went to the stall, changed clothes, came back out, minding my business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I thought it was, it was an unusual number of women in there, but I was like, hey, that's what it is. It's just the bathroom, And when I went back to change back into my clothes, there was a custodial engineer in there, as I like to call them, and she was like, no, this no bathroom, this no bathroom. I was like, what? She's like, this no bathroom, this no bathroom, this for girl. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, this for girl. I was like, no, this is a bathroom for unity,
Bitch is like, let me explain something to you here.
Listen, this
is probably looking at you so crazy, like unity. What the fuck?
Yeah. I was like, come on.
I like how in an effort to be more inclusive, Vince mansplained bathrooms to this woman. Let me just explain to you real quick why I'm in this woman's bathroom, if you will.
In this whole conversation, not one of these women said anything to you while you were coming in and out, like changing your clothes and stuff, because I would have thought, if a man was in a woman's bathroom, he was changing his clothes like Mrs. Doubtfire, somebody would have said something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, first of all, I wasn't going in and out, and I wasn't coming out with cake on my face out the fridge. All right. Second of all, I was stealthy, yes. I wasn't going up in there like, hey, I'm in the house. I wasn't like announcing myself when I went in. I went in, going to the stall, and it was what it was. Hey, what's good, Mati?
Hey,
and
Mom.
so then, when I went in the second time though, yes, when little Miss Jean Pierre was cussing me out, like, no, there was somebody in the stall that was like, yeah, this is the girls' bathroom. I was like, oh. It's like, oh shit. All right, you know what?
That is so great. I'm
gonna
sorry,
leave.
Vince.
And then she came out, she directed me to the men's bathroom, and I was like, oh, and man, my God, what a difference. Like the women's bathroom was clean. There was nothing on the floor. It smelled like just like a room. The bathroom for the men smelled like a bathroom at a truck stop. There were puddles on the floor. And this is why the custodian's in there too. Like there's somebody in there, and that's the best they can do. But anyway, so
well handled though, Vince. Well handled.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is a unity bathroom. So guys, just know that you can use that term, okay, to get yourself out of situations that are uncomfortable with like bathroom. Unity bathroom. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing, okay?
Sign my petition, but to unify all bathrooms and all going forward.
It's just like I'm in here for you. I'm in here for you.
Let's break that wall. All right, let's get rid of that whole societal norm wall. But the dopest part about we somehow got back into Megacon because we're still geeked up. I mean, I'm still floating on the cloud about it. But this last episode was pretty dope. I was watching it with my my daughter came up, and it really fucked her head up, bro, when she saw Thanos just kind of like
chilling. Yeah.
Just kind of just like, yeah, she was like, is that like, she came up in the middle, she's like, is that Thanos? And it was like, I was like, yeah. He's like, isn't he a bad guy? I was like, well, what if he wasn't? You know what I'm saying? And that goes into this whole notion. And I also like how the what if moments, like the fact that these timelines, if you listen to what he says in the beginning, he says, one or two occurrences change, and it basically alters the entire reality of these characters. So this isn't like some whole different. They literally went down to get Peter Quill, and somehow somebody took a wrong turn in Albuquerque, and they ended up in Wakanda. And they got T'Challa. And so now that brings us on this lifestyle. I even love the fact that they had Taser Face.
Yes. Oh my God. I love Taser Face.
Taser Face. He's like,
you think that's better than what was the other name that he was going to name himself? Do you guys remember the other names he gave himself?
Oh no, you're talking about when Rocket was like roasting him. Yeah, I forgot.
Yes.
I forgot some of those names. Yeah,
I gotta rewatch that. That shit was classic, man.
He's like, your name is Taser. He said that's the best you could. Yeah, Rocket went in pretty hard on him. I even like the fact that when they did have the Collector, first of all, he was huge. I mean, they made him look like a real villain.
Jacked.
Yeah, they made him look like what Thanos would have been, and then they also gave him the same villains. The
Dark Order.
What's old boy's name? That
Maw.
What is it?
Maw.
Maw. Yes.
Maw.
Maw.
Yeah.
Smooth Maw.
Yeah.
Maw is the shit, bro. Maw was like, I'll take it off your corpse. You know what I'm saying? Like, Maw was legit in one of my favorite scenes in all Marvel movies. Yeah, if you take every movie from Marvel and cut them down to your favorite scenes, I'd have to say at the top 5, maybe even the top scene, the best scene period, like the best 5 minutes of Marvel is Infinity War, when Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Bruce walk out with Wong to first confront when Maw and the children of Thanos were entering New York. And he's like, children of Earth, you rejoice, for you are about, excuse me, Earth is closed today. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the best out of even all Spider-Man movies, even though I really like the swing sequence in the in the Amazing Spider-Man with Electro, and the last sequence with Mysterio. But this one right here, bro, when he's like, excuse me, Earth is closed today. You know what I'm saying? And then Mars like, does this
animal speak?
He's like, no, he does not. You know what I'm saying? And he does this shit, and it's like, ah! And then he throws a car at him, and then he just knocks the car off like this. And bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the dopest scene in all of Infinity, in all of the Marvel movies. So to see them take those characters and just, they clearly knew You know what I'm saying? That we was gonna get geeked up when we start seeing all these different characters from the movies past. Like, I mean, you can't go wrong. And to put the icing on the cake, if I'm not mistaken, and I did not look this up, but this gentleman over the right hand shoulder, his right of Chadwick, right between Chadwick and Nebula. I don't remember his name in the story, but it sounded like the voice of Jimon Hansu.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
he plays him in the Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Okay, wait, he plays who in Guardians of the Galaxy?
It's
the same character from the Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah,
he was the first guy. He's Thanos' henchman. Remember on Guardians of the Galaxy in the beginning when Peter's like out there like dancing, doing his thing, and he's like kicking the little monsters and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's right.
He confronts him and he's like, "Oh, you're who?" And he's like, "I've never heard of Star-Lord." And he's like, "You will now." And he does some dumb shit. Like that's why it was so iconic in the what if because he didn't even know who Star-Lord was. He was like, "Star-Lord, like who?" He was like, "Really, bro? Like you'll know who I am."
Right.
That's right. Chadwick, he was paying homage to him. He was like, "Oh, you're Star-Lord? Like this Star-Lord?" You know what I mean? That's why it was so great.
Oh,
I looked it up, and that character's name is Korath. By the way.
Korath. Okay, so Korath. Well, here's the thing about Korath. Korath, which sounded like, again, you all say it confirmed that he was voiced by Jimon Hansu. All right, from Lamy style fame, and even in Shazam. Once I did hear that he may have there may be a spinoff of his character in Shazam, by the way. But also for those of y'all don't know, Jimon Hansu was the original voice of Black Panther in the animated series.
Oh wow!
That was on BET. For those of y'all that don't know, and Jill Scott was Storm. All right. And there were a few different characters that would play. So I thought, see, I'm glad that you brought this up, because I had completely forgot about that Guardians of the Galaxy character. I thought that was them paying homage to the fact that Black Panther was originally voiced by Jimon Hansu, but turns out I was thinking deeper than it really was. So there's that.
That's dope, though. I like where your head is at. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he was that whole scene was so iconic because in the first, in the movie that we saw him in, he was like, "You're who? What?"
Yeah, that's funny.
And then this one, he was like, "You steal from the poor and give to you're Robin Hood." You know what I'm saying? Like he was like literally so geeked up. It was like a fanboy meeting like his favorite person. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, "Oh, and I get to spar with you." Like it was, it was very iconic. It was hilarious.
I'm going to use the gun, okay? Okay, no gun. Okay.
Are you sure? Yeah, like it was perfect because in the first one he just was like trying to beat his ass, Star-Lord's ass. Like in this one he's like paying homage to him. So it was super cool.
Yeah, man. So I thought that was one of the best parts, frankly, of the show. Just the incorporation of all of these different beings. And no, please. Everything else that was happening. I'm not being interrupted by 10-year-old child at all during this whole debacle. But yeah, man, I don't know what to expect for the next one or what's going on in the next few What If series. But if you just look at this, then you kind of get about an idea of what's coming. And you see, I did notice in the preview that there was a Killmonger, some plot line that kind of either made him a hero or made him team up with somebody. I think it may have been Thor. I think one of the plot lines in this as well involves Spider-Man getting the Doctor Strange cape. There's a whole lot. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. I also heard that
who is that with Caps? Is that Ghost Rider? Is that supposed to be Ghost Rider?
I think that's the zombie Captain America.
Yeah,
that's zombie Captain America.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're doing. Yeah, there's a zombie episode,
like bringing him back to life type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so Austin asked me the hugest question: who is the Watcher?
The Watcher.
Wow.
And I was like, the Watcher, are you being serious right now? And he was like, yeah, who is it? And I was like, bro, you need to go back and read some comics.
Well, for those of us, for those in the audience that don't know, I mean, of course, we all know who the Watcher is. But Yaz, if you want to expound on who the Watcher is.
So I'm still catching up on my watcher, because I know like of him, he's like kind of like a sentient being, isn't he? Something like that.
Yeah.
So he just like observes, like the universe and stuff like that, and like how he never participates, he just watches, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like he thinks like, the world is on the brink of basically Armageddon. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's just one of those observers, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of like the internals, you know what I'm saying? Like, until now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, we never interfered, but now we have, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that kind of shit. So I'm still kind of learning about the Watcher myself. I just found some comics at this local comic book shop actually that has comics of him. So I'm going to go and like see if I can get those hopefully like soon this weekend or something like that, and check them out, because he's definitely a very important character in Marvel. And the voice actor for him is Jeffrey Wright. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
so
Jeffrey
Wright is the voice actor for him. So I definitely think like he's obviously got, some significance, and like I think this is going to be like, this is his cameo into, like breaking into Marvel right now. So I'm definitely excited to see where it's going to go, and like what other like, movies and shows he might be in, you know what I'm saying, that might give him his backstory, so I'm kind of excited to see that.
Tyrone, you got any insight on the Watcher, man? I mean, we know he's a background. We know he's, voiced by Jeffrey Wright. I'm not a huge. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm big on the Watcher in the comics. I know I think he showed up in a Fantastic Four comic, or I think he may be even one of the Celestials. But I think that he's I don't even know right now whether or not to classify him as a villain.
No, it's supposed to be an uninterested third party, basically.
Right.
Like there was even a storyline there's in that Silver Surfer animated series that came out, I think late 80s, early 90s. One of the reasons why Silver Surfer even came to be was because he was warned by the Watcher of Galactus's imminent arrival. The Watcher is supposed to be somebody who just observes, but in this case, he Silver Surfer, before he was Silver Surfer, what's his name again? I always forget his name.
Orin.
Yes. The planet they lived on is just this paradise of a planet, and the Watcher didn't want to see it destroyed, so he warned him. He's like, "Hey, this is happening. Galactus is coming." So the knowledge that the Watchers have, and it's not just. Usually there's more than one. There was a post-credit scene in, I think it was Guardians 2.
Yeah,
that had the Watchers in it. And so they were just kind of like crowded around while Stan Lee was telling them a story, which is really cool. But yeah, so it's these guys, because they have such a place in the universe, such knowledge of the universe. If they do interfere, it could change everything. Just like it did with Silver Surfer.
Yeah, well, that I mean, what does that sound like? That sounds like Eternals. Waiting, just watching, just not really involving ourselves until it's a necessity. I don't know, man. I mean, we're getting a lot of hero.
I feel like they're okay. So I was just like reading. Like I just Googled them a little bit and like read up.
Go ahead.
Basically, it says the Watchers are cosmic beings who possess the innate ability to achieve virtually any effect desired, including augmenting personal attributes, time and space manipulation, molecular manipulation, energy projection, and a range of mental powers. And it says they also have an access to high advanced technology. So, I mean, like, I feel like they're more powerful than the Eternals technically at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like Thanos, they're like dad to them kind of, So, I mean, I feel like in that movie, we might get to like touch base on like who are the Watchers, because it also says that at some point the Watchers have vowed never to interfere again. They would only watch and observe events, and then like they could help increase their knowledge of the universe. That's it. They don't want to be a part of anything because of whatever happens. So
yeah, with the Watchers, it like these are beings that have been around since the dawn of time. They pretty much watched the creation of civilization and the worlds and everything like that. So they literally are architects. They can go and change. if we were to compare them, think about 3 Wandas who can
pretty much,
who can alter reality, who can take out, they have the power to do whatever they want to do. They
That's exactly what my mind was.
They have that power. That I think in the comic book at some point, it talks a little bit about their origin and everything like that, and why it's almost, if you think about it, it's almost a little bit like the origin story that they provided in the Loki series for the Timekeepers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just, at one point, you know what I'm saying? It's almost similar to that. And the Watchers also are like part of different universes. So Tyrone alluded to Silver Surfer.
I found the article. I found which comic book it was in, actually.
All right, that's cool. And they also were in the X-Men series, the Dark Phoenix saga. The Watchers had a really big role in trying to defeat Dark Phoenix, because they knew she could destroy everything that they had built.
What'd you find it, Yas?
So it's in the Fantastic Four number 13 issue. This issue, I'm just letting you guys know, is a high commodity issue. It is not going for very cheap. It's the first buyer I found was $262 for this issue.
Whoa.
The highest one I found was $950 for this issue.
Well, so this is the Fantastic Four number 13.
Number
edition,
13. It's a very vintage collectible. Like it's number. Hold on, let me click on it a little more. So it's got it's the Mystery on the Moon is like the name of the actual comic. It's the Fantastic Four. It was made on April 13th. That's why it's got number 13 on there. That's when it dropped, I guess, and released. It's really, actually, it looks really cool, like on the front of it. And it's got the Thing. It's got Mr. Incredible, Mrs. Incredible, and it's got the like Johnny Storm, Flame On. And it says more than 100,000 miles from Earth, the Fantastic Four face the menace of the Red Ghost. So I don't know, that might give us more details as to the comic, but I just looked it up and that it looks super dope. So I'm definitely gonna have to find this comic and check it out.
Yeah, that's a good one to look up, man. Is the original comic to get an idea. But these Watchers, as Tyrone he was saying, Talim alluded to the fact that they were, and I have still yet to see the Phoenix movie. I'm still afraid of how disappointed I'm going to be.
You're not missing anything.
Well, just to that, Vince, like if you ever read the comics, though, the Dark Phoenix saga, that was one of the best comic book series ever. Like, I mean, like anybody who hasn't read, oh my god,
remake the movie.
Like, not only was it really good, but the illustrations and how it looked in the comic book was like. It was a big. I remember getting the comic book, and the comic book was like this thick. It was like that. It was literally like that thick, and it was like it was one of the best illustrations that Marvel had at the.
I mean, and not only that, but even with the oh shoot, my bad, I had your face all black. Even with the cartoon, the animated cartoon that used to come on Saturdays. There was a whole season devoted to the Phoenix. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 episodes, which is what made you kind of like, if we're gonna do a Phoenix movie, like first of all, it's the second one, all right, because X-Men Last Stand was about the Phoenix, the former Jean Grey, before Sansa came in. She was represented by the original Jean Grey. Well, I thought looked actually like the Jean Grey.
She did a good job as Jean Grey.
Yeah, she did her thing.
Famke Jensen.
Yeah, yes, from GoldenEye. If you watch GoldenEye, I didn't understand what her character meant. As a kid, did you watch? Did you know what was going on in that shit? Like, maybe y'all didn't understand what was going on in GoldenEye with her character. Did y'all understand what was going on? Okay, so she was Tali. Remember you used that word sadist? Remember you called sadist?
Yeah, she likes pain.
Oh, yes. She didn't just like it. But she got off to it. If you go back and watch GoldenEye, and you'll notice like she's getting hit. She's getting knocked out. She's like, like the more like all pain, her pain that she's giving away. She's like, like she's
sadomasochism.
Yes. So she did her thing,
100%.
but it really strikes me as ignorant of the X-Men franchise to do, first of all, a Phoenix movie without Wolverine. First and foremost, like there's no.
He died technically at that point, so.
Yeah, but in the comic book, he's intricate.
Like
you cannot.
Yeah.
I know you can't. I know he can't die. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I know he comes back. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that. But I'm just saying, like in the movies, the way they set that up, like Logan and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like when the time period, like he was dying. You know what I'm saying? When like Dark Phoenix came out, so that's why Dark Phoenix was such trash, because it was like we all know that he was supposed to be in there, but he was nowhere to be found. It was just like a backstory about like some kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she got her powers and went crazy, and you know what I'm saying? It's just it's just like
and they undervalued it. They like because in the comic book she is bad. Like when I tell you like. That like the whole for the watchers to come and say like, look, listen, y'all need to get this under control. Like this is not this could change everything. Like like Dark Phoenix, she could really be a Thanos level threat, and they dropped the ball.
Right.
On that. They really dropped the ball on that because she in the comic book was like she was like handing the X-Men and all of the heroes on Earth. Like she was giving it to everybody. Whoever came, they was getting.
Yeah, man. And that was the disappointing part, from my opinion, is like the fact that they made it more. You know what? I think because here's where you lose the Kevin Feige synergy, right? Like when you have Kevin Feige basically doing what I picture him at a board meeting with a PowerPoint presentation that has all of the plot lines for all of the movies, the times that they're supposed to be released, how they tie into each other, what the central theme is, and then all they have the question marks is, okay, so we had this, who's going to star in it, who's going to direct it, who's going to write it. But we already know what it is, but we just want to know who's going to blah, blah, blah. And with that, that's how you get this synergetic universe of MCU, where something can happen in Doctor Strange and it also is known in Black Widow. X-Men, however, somehow the merging of the Sony and MCU's and Marvel Studios kind of got things all murked up. It's how you end up with two Quicksilvers, right? It's how you end up with an X-Men movie without Wolverine. And I get it, Logan, we get it. You had your death, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Hugh Jackman became a producer of the saga and then, kind of started going in his own direction. I get it. But then at the same time, it's like, somebody got to step in and be like, okay, well, we can't do the Phoenix movie right now because there's no Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? Like so let's set it up and then let's leave it for a sequel. Let's not, like, that's the part that angers me about it. And I haven't even seen it yet, so I don't know how bad or how good it is, but I haven't heard anything good about it.
Yeah,
not one person.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say just don't bother.
Yeah,
don't even.
Yeah, it's not worth. It's not really like really. If they remake it and it's better, then watch that. But I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, it's like the first Snyder cut, like the first like Justice League movie. Like, why did we waste our time on that shit?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, and part of it, you were talking about, kind of what, the difference between Kevin Feige and like how he does things versus how it was done before. And like Bryan Singer, when he was in charge of the X-Men franchise, like he didn't even Bryan Singer wasn't even like a comics guy.
Right.
Like he just wanted to make a movie he wanted to make. Like he wouldn't even allow comics on the set. Like he was like seriously like anti-comic book. Like this, I'm not gonna do this comic book shit. Right. When he made you could even look at the outfits and look at the way the movie was. You're like, what they do to Rogue in the first X-Men movie,
right?
That kind of stuff. So this is what happens. Kevin Feige has a respect, and he knows that that these comics to a lot of people are like almost sacred. So he's like, I'm not going to disrespect this source material, and I'm not going to go around acting like I know better than the decades of story that have been told to the millions of people, and that kind of thing. So I appreciate Kevin Feige for that, because that Bryan Singer nonsense was garbage.
Well, hold on a minute. I mean, All right. Did we hate the first? I didn't hate the first two X-Men. I thought they were pretty good, actually.
They were good for what we had at the time. Try to watch them today. Try going back and watching those movies, and you will see they do not hold up.
But it does give us our Easter eggs that we needed, though, Tyrone, and that's a big thing about that. You know what I'm saying? Like on that screen, you know, when Stryker has all of the mutants in there, you know, it gives us a lot of details onto things that are to come. So I mean, if you think about it, that technically was right, but that technically was the start of the Easter eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about it, like let's go back. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have Easter eggs before that, and like until that happened.
We did, but. I don't want to give, I don't want to give Bryan Singer credit for creating an entire, kind of movie phenomenon. Like, I mean, we had Star Wars Easter eggs in Indiana Jones. Like, that was, true. So, Vince is like, what? Wait a minute. Yeah. In one of the temples, there was, what you see is like kind of look like hieroglyphics, but it was actually like C-3PO and R2-D2 standing next to each other.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. But Bryan Singer, and I'm happy to, because I love talking about how much I can't stand Bryan Singer. So if you want to try to make a case for it, I will absolutely destroy your case. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, look, game on, bro. Because game on. I know I know as socially aware as you are, Ty, Ron, that you're more than likely going to include his social pariahness and how
I wasn't even going to touch his weird sexual predator stuff. I wasn't even going to mess with that.
Yeah. All right, it's in the universe now. All right, fantastic. But I mean, look, I can't. I'm honestly a little. I'm a little shocked to hear your discontent for the director and the writing of Bryan Singer. With X-Men 1, we not only got a plausible X-Men origin story, and not a Wolverine origin story, Rogue, but an X-Men story. Like they actually broke down the very first scene, bro, is not some happy-go-lucky, oh snap, I just found my way into a temple and now I got powers. It was the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? They started off this scene with the Holocaust. This dude was being ripped away from his mother. And that's how he learns about his powers, is trying to freaking beat down Nazis. You know what I'm saying? Like goes into the nitty gritty, like real gritty portion of it. The very next scene is Mystique and her powers. And they don't even give us like sexy ass blue, white dress, blue Mystique. They give us ugly ass fish scale Mystique. You know what I'm saying?
That Mystique was garbage. That Mystique was why couldn't they give her clothes? Like why couldn't they give her clothes at all? Like that was another.
She's Mystique, bro. Like she does that to conform to the society that she doesn't think that she fits in. It goes with the story. Like they made it. It was such a. I mean, listen. I felt like the first X-Men did embody the microcosm of the civil rights movement that it was meant to depict. Right. I mean, that's the whole X-Men saga, is the civil rights movement. It's basically the 60s. This is Stan Lee writing what's going on with the civil rights movement, but the black people are the mutants, and American and everything else is the white is white America or whatever. But it's broken down in a manner that we can recommend it. Then I thought that Bryan Singer did a good job of depicting that. Here's what I didn't like that Bryan Singer did. I didn't like Sabretooth. What the fuck was going on with Sabretooth? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope I don't lose y'all.
We're listening.
Okay, I might freeze up a little bit.
You're good.
But yeah, I didn't know what was going on with Sabretooth. I agree with the comment that was made just a moment ago. I think Zilla was like, yo, they diminished Storm's roles. Mm-hmm. And that is 100% true. However, I will say that was not exclusive to Bryan Singer. Even when the franchise went forward and went to X-Men First Class, she was still an afterthought. Even up until Apocalypse, when they tried to give her a Kenyan accent, they have always shat and slept on Storm. And it's been my belief since the longest that Storm deserves her own franchise, not even just a movie, but her own saga.
I want to jump onto your side. I want to jump onto your side to help you real quick. It's not helping your point to list other garbage movies that did something that tried to. That's not helping. You just. I just want to course correct you real quick.
Oh my God.
Here's a list of other garbage that to help my guy. No.
All right, well, listen. All right, so did you like?
Yo, man.
Did you like any of the X-Men movies, Tyrone?
So I liked parts of some of them. I thought First Class was probably one of the better ones, even though that movie was still like took a bunch of liberties that it shouldn't have taken with real stories that like were already established. But I thought McAvoy and Fassbender did a good job as Magneto and Xavier. I thought like really Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, like they were perfect. Like they were like, yeah, some of the casting in that movie was actually really good. But I'm like, I don't know when the last time you watched these movies is, but like I recommend going back and watching these movies because at the time we were like, that was a great X-Men movie because we didn't have anything else to compare it to. We didn't have any other comic book movies. We didn't have Avengers. We didn't have anything going on. And then like, then looking back after we've seen like what good movies look like, what good comic movies look like, man. Try to watch it.
Tyrone, I don't think that's fair though.
Yeah, thank you.
Because the whole purpose of years, the years going by is that you gain experience. You learn from your mistakes. You can't look back. You can't look back on that error and say it's a good movie, but then compare it 30 years later, like, that wasn't that good.
Yeah, I mean, we still watch. I mean, we still watch the Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, and they're our favorite movies.
Yeah, but we don't go back.
We don't sit there and say they were garbage. Like,
because they're good movies. Like you can make good movies. And, like that's the thing.
If I heard you correctly, the basis of why you said that the movies are trash is because you said comparing them to the movies that I've seen now that I know are great movies, they don't stand up to those movies.
I said now we know now I know they're trash. Now back then I had nothing else, like I had no scale there for a good comic book movie. So
but based on the way it made you feel at that moment when you saw it, regardless of scale or not, at that present moment, did you not feel like that was a good movie at that moment?
I was all geeked up in the moment. Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of what.
That's what it did.
Yeah, like, but I'm saying, but now I can recognize that movie was garbage and I was wrong.
Well, but here's the problem. But all right, look.
Now I can recognize that movie was garbage.
Like, I've seen better.
You can do that with your whole childhood, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, no, that's why I brought up the Star Wars thing, because if a good movie is a good movie, it's going to age well. Like they're going to continue to be
fair enough,
movies.
but we don't sit back and be like, yo, can you believe that Yoda was a puppet? You know what I'm saying? And like
we know Yoda, but they did it well.
Did it? Did they really do it well? If you think back, like look back at the original Star Wars and determine whether or not you really believed that Yoda, you know what I'm saying, was really, really better. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, it's not hard to mess up a 2-inch tall puppet. You know what I'm saying? But in today's realm, we would probably not see that. I mean, they did a hybrid of the
they went back to more practical later on because they like honestly the CGI Yoda as like he was probably one of the brighter spots of the prequels
of the Clone Wars.
But even still, like that kind of crazy old Yoda spirit was kind of, it was different, you know what I mean? Okay. But my point there is good movies age well, bad movies don't. And the Singer X-Men were bad movies. And if you like, I would love to sit there and rewatch one with you so I can point to you, listen, look at that line of dialogue. You know what happens to a toad when it gets electrocuted? Okay. The same thing that happens to everything else. Like, really? Yeah, that was the line that you decided, like, and it wasn't just that line, like that the movies were trash when like understanding, having grown myself, I was an early teenager at that time, having grown myself, having grown as a comic book fan and a movie fan, I can say those movies were garbage without a doubt.
I think your trash scale is a little overblown though. I mean, can we say that something isn't that great without saying it was trash? I mean, was it really trash?
When's the last time you saw it?
Aged poorly. When's the last time I saw it? Mm-hmm. It's been a few years.
I recommend attempting, because I love X-Men. I would rather have watched the movie and been like, you know what, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, you
know what I mean. I would rather have felt that way. You know what I mean. But I recommend trying to watch it and being like, oh shit, because this is great.
Here's let me say this. All right, we can Tyrone. One of the movies that we geeked out on earlier this, let's call it season, was the Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah.
And if we literally start looking at King Kong Godzilla today versus when they first used to put on like monkey outfits and, you know what I'm saying, basically did the Power Rangers version of it, like we would say that all of it was trash. But then you'd be saying that our childhoods was trash because like that's what we thought was so dope.
No, because I mean, I'm not going back and saying that they were garbage because the special effects weren't good or because like the stuff that made those movies bad was stuff like writing and directing and costumes and shit like that, storylines. Like that was the stuff that to me made the movie bad. And that stuff it doesn't technology doesn't matter. Your access to, you know, different things doesn't matter. Like those are things that make a movie good or bad. Like if I'm not going back and saying anything that didn't have good CGI back in the day is bad. That's not what I'm saying. Cause like, that's, you know what I mean? Like it's not about what the movie could or couldn't accomplish technologically or whatever at the time. It's just that it just didn't age well. Again, I would love to rewatch it with you because I love roasting bad movies. So if at some point we're gonna do a rewatch, we should do that.
Roasting bad movies.
I'll say this. I don't think that I'm not gonna. You're gonna disappoint yourself if you think that I'm going to end up watching that movie with you, you know, Mystery 3000 style, and I end up being like, yeah, my bad, you was right. Like I have taken the adoration for the X-Men movies because of the fact that they introduced that array of characters. I mean, I didn't like what happened at Last Stand and Beyond. After X-Men 2, I was gone. X-Men 2, I liked how they went into the Stryker synopsis, and they gave us more of a raw detail. I think that X-Men 2 may have been a little more serious.
I'm telling you, I was with you. I promise you, weeks ago, like it was. I forgot when I tried to rewatch it. I think it was when Disney Plus added all the X-Men stuff. Mm-hmm. I was with you because I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch that Nightcrawler scene because I love that Nightcrawler scene. And I watched it and I was like, okay. Then I kept watching and I was like, oh shit, this is a bad movie. And like that, and I'm telling you, like, and it's not like I decided I'm gonna go watch this bullshit and see how shitty this bullshit is. No, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this stuff because I haven't seen it in a while, and I have fond memories of the first one, and I have fond memories of X2, and I hated Last Stand, and you know, whatever. And then I went back to the ones that I liked, and I was like, let's do this. It didn't land the way I was hoping it would.
Well, I want to say this because one of the things that I think should be talked about is the era in which this movie came out on. When it came out, there was no competitors. There were no templates of how to make a successful movie, a comic book movie. There wasn't. It was just like this is what it was. We had Blade, and then it was this. So it was like, you know, at when you're looking at it from that standpoint and knowing that there weren't any other movies to compare it to, I see why you're looking at it from that type of lens, because now there are all of these different movies that have come before, and now there's a template for what needs to be done to make movies better. So back then there wasn't. So I think under the circumstances, what he put out was an entertaining movie. Like X-Men 1 and X-Men 2 were both entertaining. As far as dialogue, there are so many movies that I can name, including Marvel movies, that at some point had bad dialogue in them. It's not like, so that, you know, if that's like a criteria for bad movies, then, you know, we might have to go back and watch some Marvel movies and
no, I have. I've done the Marvel rewatch, and they all, and well, not all of them hold up. But they hold up pretty damn well. And here's the thing. So it's Blade, like you brought up Blade, and Blade was good, and there was no template for that. You know what I mean? And Blade was a good movie, and it holds up well. You know what I mean? Blade was a good movie. And here's the thing. And it's not like Bryan Singer. Hold on, it's not like Bryan Singer was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make up this thing called X-Men and tell a story about this thing called. He had decades of source material he could have gone to tell a good story and characters that were already built for him. And everything was there. So he was handed the instruction manual. They were like, here, and he was like, I don't need that shit. And he decided to go about it on his own. And that's why everything. Yeah, no, he didn't. Yeah, absolutely. I just told you he was like, he did not want comics anywhere near his movies.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's still all right. Look, all right. First of all, to challenge, I'm on the side of Ty Lean, but just to challenge what he said, there were templates for good comic book movies by X-Men, the first one I think came out in 2000, 2001. All right. By then we had already had the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, which, if I'm not mistaken, released in like 1998 in May. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm lying. No, Spider-Man came out 2002, May 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that was a special day. I'm gonna remember that day forever. But before that, we did have a plausible first two Batman movies, starring a Michael Keaton. And we also did have, as Tyrone just brought back up, the entire Blade trilogy. Of course, the whole trilogy hadn't been released at that point, but we at least did have it. Now it's easy to do Blade because Blade wasn't as popular of a character, so you can alter the origin story, and nobody's gonna, hey, wait a minute, but his mom didn't,
Well, but with Blade, and I say this over and over and again, and I never want to take anything away from Wesley Snipes because he killed the role, but again, that was an era piece. It came out during a period when we were so infatuated with horror. We were like vampires, werewolves. I remember all the big movies that were coming out around that time were either vampire movies or werewolf movies. Like you had, Wolf with Jack Nicholson, and the Benicio del Toro werewolf movie, and then you had all of the Interview with the Vampire. You had all of that was all that we were getting at one point, and then now we're in the comic book era. That kind of pushed that to the side, and everybody kind of got more infatuated with comic book. But that's one of the things that kind of made Blade so successful is it fell into that realm of horror when horror was popular. So it was like people already.
It was just a good movie.
Well, I mean, it was a good movie too, but I'm just saying, like, if that movie would have come out when nobody's watching, nobody's really caring about vampires and werewolves and everything like that, you're gonna get the people that read comic books or people who are like into sci-fi that are gonna specifically watch that. It's not gonna hit that other demographic that you're trying to reach, and that's what I was saying.
Well, my thoughts are not based on the success of a movie or anything like that. It's just based on the merit of the movie itself. So Blade is a good movie, and I think it's like, if you watch it now, it's a good movie. And at the time, so like, even if there wasn't anything else good around it, it was a good movie. And if I take X-Men out of the time period and take it out of everything, and I watch it because I tried and I wanted to like it, I really did, and it just didn't, where I was like, oh, this is a bad movie. So it's like, and that's fine, and it may just, and that's my opinion on the movie, and I don't think it's gonna change because I just recently watched it and it was shit. But I'm not gonna forgive X-Men for I'm not going to forgive Bryan Singer or those X-Men movies for being bad just because of when they were out, because there were good movies made before it, there were good movies made around the time, and there have been good movies since. So I don't think there are any excuses for that.
Okay, well, we'll agree that Tyrone is just yes.
No, he's valid points. I'm just saying that, like, if you go back though, like, because I have, like, Blade, the first movie is really good. You know what I'm saying? But if you go back and watch like the third Blade,
it was bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know really that this argument is like, you know what I'm saying, something that's like, a big thing, because if you think about it, like, it's the era it came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, Blade came out back when vampires, werewolves, you know what I'm saying, the supernatural were an awesome time period. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, of course, that movie has nostalgic feels in it. Has, like, it was like all in all a good movie. But if you think about it, it's like, it's like the argument with Spider-Man. Like, Ben loves, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man and thinks the movies were good. But, like, we know the third movie and the second movie were like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the third movie was really bad. So it's just like, it's a time era thing, I think. You know what I mean? Bro.
Well, I said the third one. I never said the second one. The second Spider-Man with Doc Ock, I thought actually was pretty. I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Spider-Man 2 is good, yeah.
Spider-Man 2, and one time for what's his name? The dude that played Doc Ock, Alfred Molina.
There you go.
He killed that role. He was perfect. He was perfectly cast, even though he was supposed to be German. It's all good. They let him be British. We'll take that. But the thing I have here is, like, I actually don't think that the first X-Men was a bad movie. I think that it's a bad, maybe, X-Men movie if you rate it based on what your expectations are for the X-Men that you've had. But if you are not an X-Men fan if you're not a comic book fan, then maybe it won't be as bad. However, I will say my wife, who's neither of the two, did watch and was like, yo, these movies are pretty bad. But I argued the same way I did against Tyrone. I was like, what are you talking about? You got the Sabretooth, there was Bobby Fischer. You got Iceman was in the freaking, there was Iceman, bro. And I even like how they had a twist. Remember, there's some iconic scenes in that first X-Men when Wolverine first tries to confront Magneto on a bus, you know what I'm saying? And Magneto says, that wonderful metal doesn't run all the way through your body now, does it? And then he's like, oh shit, like what the hell, and then he even learns and he's like, what do you want from me? He's like, oh, you thought we were here for you?
Yeah, that was
like, oh my god, like Rogue and like that whole plot line, like seeing Mystique actually kick ass as Rebecca Romaine. Like, I mean, look, are you going to find a bunch of bullshit about the movie? Absolutely. Storm, I mean, first of all, they completely used Halle Berry as arm candy. Is the only reason she was in the movie is because she was popping and they needed a pretty black face to put in a Storm character so that the woke universe that didn't even exist at that moment wouldn't come after her and be like, yo, how dare you cast her as anything but a black woman, because we know that's what she was. But I always felt like they made her way less significant than she needed to be. She was very, I remember the scene where she was like, you know, like she had her couple speaking lines and she was like, I guess I would feel whatever it was that she was talking to somebody, and I was like, yo, that's not Storm. Storm's like, oh, I renounce the storm and the power of the winds and the thunder. And you know what I'm saying? And she's on here like, I don't know, guys. Can I go with you guys? You know? So yeah, there was definitely parts. But I mean, I think that, look, maybe we can agree on this. Trash, I'd say, is 1, 2, maybe even 0. I don't think the X-Men movies were a 1. I gotta say, you at least give them like a 4 or 5, Tyrone.
Yeah, I think that's fair. No, I think that's fair.
They're not, because that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, there were like you said, there's some good scenes. Like there is still some scenes. Like I look at like Days of Future Past, and I'm like, damn, there's some really good ass like X-Men fighting scenes in this. And even in that shitty ass Dark Phoenix movie, there is some good like X-Men action stuff. And even in that, well, Apocalypse was actually all around trash. That's Apocalypse. I give that a 1. Like they showed up like. Yeah, they showed up and they spelled their names right. So like I'll give them like that kind of thing. But like other than that, yeah. But no, those the Bryan Singer ones, like 4 or 5, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah. I'll say this about the Bryan Singer ones. The casting. I think the casting they dropped the ball. We can all agree they dropped the ball. But no.
On some of the other stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
They dropped the ball. But the casting was like this cast had the potential to really take off. Like if they would have done this the right way, these would have been our Avengers before the Avengers.
Could not agree more with that. Yes, like, because that, and because really those actors did really good with what they had, especially Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Like they did really well with what they had. James Marsden, I thought, was a great Cyclops. I thought he kind of embodied that role pretty well. Old
girl was a good Jean Grey.
Fantastic Jean Grey. Yeah, I think he screwed up Rogue's character to the point where it was not going to be saved by anything. And then and even like but you're right. But the casting choices were strong. 100% will give you that.
I do think that Storm. That Rogue was more Jubilee. If you watch like the very first episode of the X-Men comics cartoons, it was based on Jubilee's introduction, and I feel like they just switched Jubilee to the Rogue. But it's funny that you mentioned Cyclops, because there have been some rumblings in the nerd universe about these upcoming X-Men introductions to the MCU, and somebody that we know has been pitched. And actually, from what I understand in an article recently, was meeting with the heads of the MCU and the X-Men directors to determine whether or not he was going to join the cast. And it looks like we may have our first captain, who may be a captain of the X-Men, my man Chris Pine. met up with the X-Men directors or the X-Men executives, excuse me, and discussed the potential for him to reprise the role as Scott Summers. And now that I've seen it, I cannot.
I can totally see that.
That's perfect. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, I have no problems with that.
Absolutely perfect.
And you know that if they do go this route, then Scott Summers is going to be a lot more vocal, because I can't see Chris Pine taking a role that doesn't have a lot of lines in it.
Right.
You know, unlike old boy that played it before, where he was kind of like a side. He was kind of like a side dude in that.
Just make angry eyes.
Well, to be honest with you, in the new Wonder Woman, he didn't really have that much lines in that movie either, though.
Yeah. Well, he probably he should be happy for that. He didn't have to, sync with that ship. That's unfortunate. But yeah, man, I'm excited if they do end up getting Chris Pine. Now, that makes me a little nervous about Star Trek, because I mean, Star Trek has been J.J. Abrams basically, shat that baby out and left it on the doorstep for Jeremy Lin and Jeremy Lin.
I know you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My bad. I didn't mean to go to the NBA. Old boy that made Fast and Furious. I forget his name. But the director of Fast and Furious ended up taking over the Star Trek.
Yeah.
But if they can do that with X-Men, and bring this, I think that they're going to start doing X-Men better. I mean, they have to recognize that they have to at this point. Yeah. Apocalypse was an abomination. It turned me off from X-Men, period. Like, to the point where I was like, I don't even want to see Game of Thrones because Sansa's in it and she's in Phoenix. I won't rewatch it because I don't want it to remind me of how bad that could have been. What's up, Ty?
Yeah, to that point, I believe that the way that we've been done with X-Men, it's going to take a lot to win us over. So I think if Marvel's smart, I think they go the episodic series route, and get us reacclimated to to the X-Men and let us grow that love and affection for them again. Because I'm telling you that people, like, including Tyrone, have been hurt so bad by these movies and scarred that we're like, listen, as soon as you hear X-Men talk, you're like, yeah.
No, but let me let you in on a little secret. I'll tell on myself. As much as deep as my hatred runs for some of these movies, my dumbass was in the theater for each one of them. Oh, shit. Including Dark Phoenix. So when X-Men is my shit. So when they're gonna be like, here's an X-Men shit sandwich, I'm gonna be like, I hate you, and I'll be there to like that's just
you watched the last what was that last one that they did, Vince, the one that's on this it's from the X-Men franchise where there was the kids at the
the New Mutants. No, I won't watch that either.
Did you watch that, Tyrone?
No, I got pushed back into like pandemic times, right? Like, because they kept pushing that back and back. So yeah, that one completely. I missed that one, and I started watching it on streaming, and then I was like, I'm
it was terrible.
I'm out. I couldn't get past the first 15 minutes.
That was
terrible.
That's another one that Kim was like, is this movie supposed to be this bad? Or I'm not watching it.
But what I'm saying. That's the relationship between us viewers and that franchise.
Yeah.
Oh my God, again! Like you're like, I'm not getting that time back.
If there's any saving grace for our listeners and watchers, if there's any saving grace to the X-Men franchise, it is on Netflix with the anime X-Men specials series that they have. The Wolverine and the X-Men joint. Them motherfuckers is bad the fuck ass. And they follow the storyline, but I mean, in all anime, all your favorite anime stuff is in it. You know what I'm saying? Showing the blade and then showing the background and all that. Like, just watching X-Men as if it was Dragon Ball is definitely dope, and they spare no expense on that. Agreed. So that's pretty cool, man. And I mean, I hope that they get it. I would say if we had to, all right, real quick, final question on X-Men, which I don't know how we got here real quick, but just tell me, Tyrone, and then maybe we'll go Yaz and Tylene.
Okay.
What is your favorite? What's the best of all of the terrible X-Men movies that we've had? Which one would you say is the best out of all of them? I mean,
out of all of them, I would have to go Days of Future Past.
Okay.
I think that's the strongest one when everything is on the table. They still they fucked up Sentinels. Like, I don't know why they had to do that. Like, just different stuff like that. I don't know why they keep doing shit like that. But that one was the better one. I mean, Bishop was always my boy too, so it was cool to see Bishop, even though it's a weird version of Bishop. And I can always say something and then being like, but then there was this, and like I sound like that guy. But yeah, Days of Future Past.
Yeah, what you say?
Yeah, I agree with Tyrone. Days of Future Past was definitely like the one I remember out of all of them watching. Like, I still have if it's on, you know what I'm saying, I'll rewatch it or whatever. So
yeah, I'm saying, all right, Tyrone, Talene.
I'm gonna go with X-Men United. I think that was part 2, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yes. I really like that one just because it kind of was like, you got to look at all of the mutants. You got, it was an introduction to Dark Phoenix. It was an introduction to Juggernaut. It was an introduction to it was a lot of people that showed up. Archangel.
True.
So it was a lot of introductions and that I recognized from comic books.
Can I add a little something real quick? Because Ty, you bring up when you brought up Juggernaut, and it makes me think that while X-Men movies are one thing, the best X-Men have come from Deadpool movies so far. Colossus, Juggernaut, the Deadpool movies have done X-Men better than X-Men movies have.
Yeah, that Colossus version in Deadpool is the Colossus that we saw in the X-Men animated version, and the Juggernaut.
That was
he's not the one we see in the animated version, but he's close. He's damn.
Yeah, the closest.
He looks way better. Yeah, he looks way better than the one in X-Men United.
Yeah.
I mean, the X-Men, the Juggernaut from Deadpool is even scarier than the ones in all, because they basically made Juggernaut like as they usually do. The bigger of an enemy or villain you are, the dumber you are, right?
Yep.
And so, but they made this Juggernaut like he wasn't just I'm sure he probably is an idiot, but they didn't let that part of him be exposed, right? Like, he was just really huge. He was furious, ferocious, and they just let him be a big badass instead of being a big dumbass. And I thought that helped his creepy factor a lot.
Yeah,
I'm going to agree with the Days of Future Past. It's very difficult to picture a movie in which they merged both ages of the franchise in such a seamless way, to see young Professor X and old Professor X, young Magneto and older Magneto, so seamlessly, and the same Wolverine, which I thought was pretty funny. To have even to show that I like the last to Villa. I think it was Villa or whoever it was in the comment. So it said that they never really gave Storm her due. Right. If there was a saving grace for Storm, it was the last one. Even though she didn't have like a much of a speaking role, they gave her the powers, they gave her a better look, and they still shat on her character in terms of her significance, but they definitely gave her more of a screen-worthy presence. So I'm going to agree with Days, but I would say a close second would be First Class, because I really liked how they did First Class. I liked the introduction of the new Jennifer.
Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. I like the dynamic between her character and Charles and Magneto. I really enjoyed the seeing how Charles Xavier was before he was chair ridden and bald. So I thoroughly enjoyed the prequel. It's one of the few successful prequels, in my opinion. And then for them to be able to merge that with Days of Future Past, I think was the saving grace. And we also did learn a lot about and they actually did somehow. Oh, I'm tripping. That was last one. It was X2 that they did Gambit, right? Gambit was in X2.
No, that was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
That shit was garbage.
Wolverine.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Vince. So you're running the new X-Men movie, right? And it's time to cast people, and I bring to you this idea. I say, hey, what do you think of for Storm? Naomi Nagata from The Expanse. Dominic Tipper is her name, and for Wolverine, Amos from The Expanse, Wes Chatham. What do we think of those two casting choices? How are you feeling about that?
Sign me up.
Amos from The Expanse
as Wolverine. Tell me you don't. Tell me you wouldn't be perfect. Tell me he wouldn't be perfect.
Oh, yo, I'm 100% on board with Amos as Wolverine. Holy shit!
And Naomi, so I think Naomi would kill
old though, isn't he?
Amos
has been around because I remember Amos has been one of those actors that's been around a long time in like smaller movies. Mm-hmm. But I remember him. I remember him specifically. So that's why I'm like, he might be around the same age as what you call it, low key. Yeah. I think he might be early, like late 30s, early 40s.
I'm on board for Amos. I don't know about Naomi as much. Yeah.
I think she would kill Storm.
I'm definitely on Naomi. Naomi, for sure.
I don't know about Naomi as much. I see what you're doing there. I think I'm not opposed to her style of acting and how she fits the body type of that role, but I still think it needs more star power, or more acting chops. She's already Australian. I have no problem with Australians. All right, don't at me. All right, everybody down under. But I would not mind if our Storm was all right. Here's who I picture as the Storm.
Okay.
Talim, you know that our movie, our show, American Gods. We don't talk about it as much.
Oh.
But the girl that plays in American Gods, who puts everybody in her pussy.
Oh my God. Yes,
everybody in her pussy.
Listen, I would have her on anything, bro. Like I love Tyrone. If you have not
I'm sorry. Did y'all just say what
yes,
I just said?
We did indeed.
Okay, I know this. Yeah, I saw the first couple episodes, and I can see. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Amazing. She is amazing, man.
Yeah, she's even got a little bit of a Storm look to her. She's got that kind of regalness, like a Storm's like kind of regal. You know what I mean? Like she's got that royalty look to her. Yeah.
So that's who I would like to see.
Okay.
I mean, that's the realm of which I wouldn't mind seeing a Storm. My choice for Storm originally was always Angela Bassett. I always thought that she would have made in her prime the perfect Storm. Now she
for sure.
I don't want to say she can't be right now, but it wouldn't be the most optimal, obviously, with her.
Angela Bassett's still killing it, by the way. Shout out to Angela Bassett for just saying, I just decided not to age. So congratulations, Angela Bassett. Yeah.
Hey, I will say this. I will say this though, like as much as I would love that, like Bilquist, that's her name. As much as I would love her to be the new Storm, she's not likely to be that. But I'll tell you who's more likely to be Storm. Valkyrie.
She'd be dope as Storm, actually.
I doubt that. I doubt it only because X-Men's going to be MCU now, and they usually don't have, unless there's like a lot of makeup involved or CGI or whatever, they don't have actors crossing over in the MCU.
Who? Valkyrie? Who did you say?
Tessa Thompson, the one who plays Valkyrie in Thor.
Oh yeah, she's definitely not going to be Storm. And in honesty, bro, unfortunately, Tessa Thompson has a huge following, but she also has a huge hate following too.
Oh shit!
She kind of has that Anne Hathaway type of thing. Like, there's a lot of people like us who just love what she does, but then there's this undertow of like women that are like, who is this bitch? And why the fuck did she take all of the black roles? She's black. She's like racially ambiguous. We don't know what the fuck she really is. She's like half black, half something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that was, Tyrone.
That's me hiding every time somebody like Tessa Thompson starts getting hate for like not being black enough for roles, I start going like this. I'm like, let me go ahead and get out of here.
Come on, Tyrone, that's not fair. Like, listen, first of all, I don't belong to that. I know. I'm messing around. It's a thing that we have. It's just weird that that's even a thing. But I think that frankly, I'm gonna keep it real. This is me, blood raw. I think it is time for a darker skinned black woman to get her just due in the comic book universe. We don't have that, frankly, if you think about it. Most women in the comic book realm, in the hero realm, period, are fair skinned, or you know what I'm saying, even ambiguous, so to speak. I mean, even Halle Berry is a mixed weight.
What about Monica Rambeau?
Who?
Monica Rambeau.
Monica Rambeau is. Hey, look, I said they need more, but even Monica Rambeau, let's keep it real. As sexy as she is, as lovely as she is, as much as I would have each and every last one of her children, she's still of a browner. You know, but
that's the part that really starts to use. It starts to get aggravating. Like it's like at some point it's like, okay, we get a darker skinned black woman, and then she's not dark enough. Then it's like we need somebody.
This is why we have.
This is why we have 3-hour shows. Like vibes, like you want it like that.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
This is why we have 3-hour shows, because now we're getting into colorism in comic movies, and I love these conversations. These conversations are amazing because they're important.
Okoye could play a badass Storm, though, if we really think about it. I mean, we know that she could hold her own. She owns her presence. You know what I'm saying?
But she's already Okoye, though. So she's off the table for Storm.
Right. But Yaz brings up a good point, though. Yeah, I mean, I've completely negated
the Dora
Milaje. Yeah. I know it's Dora Milaje. Don't at me. I just been saying Dora Milaje.
I'll get their whole series. About to have a whole series,
and they got a whole series out there. So I do want to make sure that Denai Guerra gets her just due. The young lady who plays Ayo. I want to make sure that they get. I mean, they're not just black; they hella black and they bald at the same time.
Right.
And those are hard things to be: black, woman, and bald. Those are 3 strikes in society, and there's a whole army made out of them. So you got to give them that credit. So you're 100% right. I mean, I will eat my words as it pertains to that element, the dark skin representation, because not only were those young ladies heralded in the MCU, but even outside of Wakanda, like the kind of respect they garnered in Falcon and Winter Soldier is undeniable. And I mean, they proved it too. It's like, all right, let's put the little pointy down.
Maybe calm down. Yeah, they're like, don't do that. Don't touch him.
Right.
Don't touch him. Don't touch him.
Vince said in the comment section, he said Thandi Newton. Now we just said Tessa Thompson, and you gonna go lighter with Thandi Newton. You know what I'm saying?
Thandi Newton, bro.
He went lighter. He was like, okay, Tessa, all right, we'll go Thandi. Like,
all right, yeah. Let's go ahead and block Vince real quick, man. It's gonna be one anyway. But that's funny, bro. But real quick, just in case. Before we move on, because there's still 2 subjects that I haven't done yet. We were talking about, for those of y'all who are not familiar, and by the way, full disclosure, we kind of discussed whether or not this show is going to be 2 hours or more, and we try to keep it under 2, but you know,
I did my part.
We got delegated, but it wasn't.
He's like, I did what they asked me to do.
Yeah.
Said, no. I was like, all right. You know, let's do the 2 hour thing or something like that. And then real shit. But also, let's keep in mind, we didn't come on last week too, so we still got like last week pin up energy. But yeah, we were talking about replacements potentially, as a great question from Tyrone. But Jazz, I don't think you watched The Expanse. I think you should. I think Austin might actually I don't know. You two guys, the 2 on the bottom are Austin's fan base. Y'all may have a better I think it's a hair thing. I'm starting to think it's a hair thing.
I don't see I mean, but for The Expanse, I mean, here's the simple truth about The Expanse. If you don't like The Expanse, you're wrong.
I haven't even tried watching it. To be completely honest with you, I know you guys have been talking about.
How good that show is.
So much shit going on, and you know, we've had so many shows coming out that I haven't got to sit down and have a chance to watch it. So I promise you guys, one of these days I will watch it. I did start watching Titans. I'm very happy with the recommendation.
We talk about that too.
Yeah,
super dope. I'm loving Starfire's how you guys told me, I own my woman masculinity. I love how she owns her woman masculinity. She's like I'm a boss ass bitch. I don't give a fuck. Try me. I'm gonna beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm digging her vibes. I'm almost done with season 1. Austin's been watching every single step of the way, so he loves the show too. So yeah. We're digging those vibes. I like the recommendation. So I'll check out.
I'm so happy to hear that. One of us has yet to watch the Titans.
Who?
I don't know.
That's me. It's 100% me.
I don't know what the hold up is. It may be Avengers, but definitely check it out. And as far as The Expanse goes, look, The Expanse. I can't wait for you to watch The Expanse. Yes, like we've all watched it.
I'm trying to. You know, it's one of those things that I forget about. You guys talk about it so much, and I'm like, damn, what they were talking about. Shit, I might have to go back and rewatch and like figure out which show it was. Like sometimes I do that so I can make sure I'm on it, but that's just one I don't know why it hasn't clicked in there. What streaming service can I see The Expanse on?
Well, Prime, Amazon Prime, and you're gonna need about a 3-month slot because
that's probably why I haven't. Well, that's probably why I haven't. That's not one of the main ones I watch things on. You know what I'm saying? Like Amazon, like it's like a hit or miss with Amazon. You know what they give you for free and stuff like that.
This one is a hit.
Like, this is a free hit. Yeah. But it will take away probably 3 months of your life to watch.
3 months?
Yes.
Five seasons. So 5 seasons, 13 episodes a season.
Hour long.
Yeah, a 6 season on
my life. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be better for it.
The beauty of The Expanse. Let me tell you what first of all, the reason we're talking about The Expanse is because Tyrone, in a genius way, kind of brought these two universes, X-Men, and he was recommending. He was like, "What if Amos was Wolverine?" And I was like, "Well, does everybody here know who Amos is? This is Amos from The Expanse."
Yeah.
And I can't unsee the Wolverine now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his character is so like it's so complex. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to tell you most of it because I mean you just gotta watch it. But the dude is a certified badass. He takes no shit, but he's not like a villain. You know what I'm saying? And he's nowhere even close to it. But he almost has like damn near Crosshair vibes in that he has no emotion. And he just does whatever the fuck it is that he thinks is right, whether or not you give a fuck about it or not. I don't want to tell too much, but there's one of these seasons where he kind of has a lover, and he has to make a decision, a split second as to whether or not you know what you just watch the series.
Hey, now, Vince, I have a question because what version of Wolverine do you want in the MCU at this point? Do you want and when I say what version, I'm saying because the version that we initially got of Wolverine is not comic book version of Wolverine. Comic book version of Wolverine is Cajun. He's Cajun. He talks with that. He has that
No, he's Canadian.
Yeah,
Canadian. That's what it is. Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't know why I say Cajun. Canadian. He's Canadian. He has an accent.
Like Gambit.
But he has the accent. Yeah. I was thinking about Gambit. So, but he has an accent. The version that we got, didn't really have that Canadian accent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I when I think about these comic book, adaptations and depictions of these characters, I want them to kind of like be a little bit. I'm not saying it has to be canon, but I'm saying there are key things because Wolverine's whole backstory starts, all in Canada. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's or is it Canada or the Soviet Union?
No, it's Canada. Yeah.
It is Canada.
It's Canada.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that if we get like that, and I wonder if Amos can actually pull that off.
Well, I mean, first of all, depending on where, I think that a character's origin story is different from their life story, right? So, so like, just because he's from Canada doesn't necessarily mean.
Yeah, but some of his best stuff.
Okay, Kiki, what's up?
What's up?
Some of Wolverine's best stuff what was he? Weapon X, right? Wasn't he called Weapon X or something? Like that?
Weapon X, yeah.
Like that was like, if you're gonna like tap into Wolverine, you need to know why Stryker wants him so bad. Why?
Right.
Why? What it is? You know what I'm saying? Like we saw it in The Singer, they kind of touched on it a little bit, and gave you little pieces, but they never really let you know that he was part of this unit that Stryker made and everything like that. You got there's other people part of that unit that are like really significant. Like, what is it? Red.
What are you talking about? Omega Red.
Omega Red, and like all of, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple other people that were part of that unit too. So like, I mean, I kind of want to see that version and give you that storyline.
Well, like I was saying before, I was interrupted by some delicious eggs that my daughter brought to me, which I was hesitant to eat, but I am now going to end the show because those eggs are really good. And not just kidding. But yeah, one of the things we did. Oh, we already said that. Pablo. Oh yeah. That might not be a bad idea too. We can talk about that.
Who is that?
But the version of Wolverine that I want to see is I would like to see the one thing we didn't see. They gave us glimpses of it in Logan, right? They gave us flashbacks, but we didn't see Wolverine when he discovered like his like going through the process of learning that he actually had bones that penetrated his hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because those weren't always blades, right? For him learning that he had healing capability. We didn't really get a Wolverine origin story. What we got was a solo Wolverine movie from Marvel in the beginning. Not as much of an origin story. In fact, I would argue that X-Men 1 and 2 were Wolverine origin stories. If you think about it, that's when he was introduced to the School of the Gifted, and that's also when he went back to confront Stryker about what they had done to him when they made him Weapon X. And let's not forget, just a quick side note, that Weapon X did not mean X, it meant 10, and he was the 10th of those experiments, which is why he was called Weapon X. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to contend with, of which one I believe was Omega Red. And that's why that last version of him as Logan was so significant, because they showed that even after Weapon X, they were still experimenting, which is where the young girl came from the New Mutants.
The Chinese girl.
Yeah. No.
You're talking about New Mutants. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I'm talking about I forget the young girl's name, but she ended up being right now she's in the Golden Compass, the HBO Max joint.
That we like great
blood and dark bones.
No,
bones and blood.
Not no bones, nothing.
It's his dark materials. His dark materials. But you're talking about the character you're talking about is another one of those weapons though. So I'll point to Yas like she's on my screen. Like,
you're pointing at everybody. What? Me?
You get off of my lawn right now.
Right? But so the question was, what version of Wolverine? I wouldn't mind seeing a young, just learning who his powers are. And I don't know if Amos is the guy for that. I mean, he's a little aged as well.
No, but he would have to be like literally like 12 years old if that were the case, though.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I'm not looking for like pubescent Wolverine, maybe 17, 18 adolescent Wolverine. Just now learning because when we're introduced to Wolverine, he's already fought hella wars. You know what I'm saying? Like he's old as shit. Even not just in his appearance, but in his how long he's been on the earth. So I don't know. The best part about Wolverine, Talim, is that like this version of Wolverine could still be in his infancy because his aging slows down because of his healing power, right? So we can say that this is an origin story with Amos, him just now learning the same way he did with Hugh Jackman, and it'll still work. It'll make sense. He doesn't have to be like Zac Efron, like Tracy tried to make him in that one time. You know what I mean? So I don't think so.
I don't think he has to be that old. I mean, as far as like that young as Zac Efron, because again, I just really think that it's important that we see when he was a part of that unit as Weapon X. If we see why he let us see the development of the killing machine. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see what that Stryker had you go through, the training, what makes Wolverine be able to move and do it, and all of the stuff that he's able to do and be who he is. So that's all.
I honestly think you're onto something, and I think that what you're describing for me is a series and not a movie.
That's what I've been saying from the jump. I said if they reacclimate us to all of these characters, if you do it episodically, you can do each character. You can do Storm's whole origin story. You can do Wolverine's origin story. You can do Gambit's origin story, Nightcrawler's origin story. you can do all of them and make them episodic and create a huge buzz that would create a buzz for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get another X-Men movie. But right now, I mean, I
don't think that's a bad idea. I think what's more likely though is that we start seeing random mutants popping up in different movies, like, you know, as kind of introductions to the idea of mutants and introductions to the idea of the X-Men, and then, you know, until eventually we just kind of get ourselves into whatever X-Men movie, whatever they show up as a group or whatever. I think that's kind of that's what I would see the MCU doing. I don't know, but I think the idea that you have is great. I think it would be, if they did that idea, I think it would be good. I think it would be helpful, but I don't know if they'll go that route with a property as big as the X-Men.
I think you hit it right dead on the head without even knowing, Tyrone. I think what it is I think they will administer these characters into different series, not movies. Like with like the Marvel series that we have, you know, on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
you can sprinkle a Wolverine in.
Yeah. We thought they did. Right. Yeah, they did in WandaVision. For a minute, we were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is there. So they could probably do it that way too. You could do it that way as well.
Lisa just made a comparison. Just made a suggestion, and I just took a second to look this up because I didn't know who this young lady was at first. But she made a suggestion for somebody that she thinks could be in the running to play Storm, and she recommended this young lady named Kiki Lane. Have y'all heard of Kiki Lane? Yes. She was in If Beale Street Can Talk, yes, or something like that.
Yes.
And I hadn't heard of it. I didn't know what it was, but I just found a quick picture of her, and I have to say, I am not opposed to this selection. This is a stock photo, so forgive the overlay. But this is who she's talking about. Oh shoot, I didn't put it up.
I was gonna say Wolverine.
No, this right here. My bad.
Oh yes.
Oh, what's up, Storm?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, I can see it.
As a new Storm, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, Lisa, we see you with your recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa. Well, Lisa knows
she's burying any day.
Lisa's an honorary member of the panel. She just happens to speak from the comment section. Oh, and Naomi Harris is one that she said. Now, I don't know if y'all know who Naomi Harris. Y'all know we talked about Naomi Harris a little bit. Naomi Harris looks like she could be the part. I don't know. I could see it, but I think I would rather. I don't know. I'm gonna sign off on Kiki Lane before I sign off on Naomi Harris. I don't mind Naomi, but she's already Money Penny. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's got a couple things going on. So I think I'm gonna let that go. But one thing is for certain. This is the by the way, this is the young lady from oh damn it, I keep going to I'm on the wrong thing on my This is the young lady from American Gods that I thought would have made.
Yes, that is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think she'd make a good Storm. That's just me personally, you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on that.
I think you agree with that, Tyrone?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, but she
checks all the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like royalty. I would just like she got that royal look to her, like that look where like, okay, I'll follow you. What do you want me to do?
Look,
she looks like her skin has been kissed by the Kenyan sun.
Yeah, I was literally, bro. Hey, literally, Tyrone, I was literally going to say, I'm going to say the unpopular thing to say is that she looks African. All right, she looks authentically African. She looks authentically natural in that element. In a majestic, queenish, I command the room attention when I walk in type of power.
And she already has the accent.
Already has the accent.
Already has the accent.
Like play around with it like the last girl did.
Already has it.
Poor young girl in Apocalypse who had to try to do that Kenyan accent. It didn't work out that well for her, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm feeling that.
Was that Zoe Kravitz?
It was not Zoe Kravitz. Zoe was in the first class, and she played a butterfly. And I don't know if I was necessarily that excited about that. But it is what it is. But this is Naomi. I've seen her in a couple things. I'm not really as much. I'm thinking that we can all agree on this vote. definitely with the black girl magic that she ensues, and I think that majesticness that she has, it just it's out of her. It's not even in her control. Like she just has it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what I'm looking for when it comes to a Storm. Yeah, I mean, damn man. So our Storm and X-Men banter has taken up all of the. I had so much to talk about, man. I don't know if we want to end it right now. There's a couple of things I wanted to go over real quick before we kind of start trying to wrap things up. One of the things that I wanted to wrap with y'all real quick was while we were at Megacon, I had a chance to cop a few comic books. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. One of the ones that I got into was the Thunderbolts series. I hadn't really been introduced to the Thunderbolts as much as I would like to, and I just learned that holy shit, I've been sleeping on the Thunderbolts. They are going to be coming out with a live action series, either a series or a movie about the Thunderbolts. And for those of y'all unfamiliar with it, just to kind of say as quickly as I possibly can, the Thunderbolts, think Marvel's version of Suicide Squad, but not exactly. All right, it's basically, misfits who are made into villains, but they're convincing the people that are that are the heroes, that they're actually good people now. But your whole thing is, as the audience member, in situational irony, you get to learn whether or not you get to determine whether or not they're being honest, they're being truthful. Are they really good? Are they really reformed? Are they really just playing to get their own way? Once they get their way, do they take over the universe? Like, that's one of the cool things about it. And their leader is the one and only Baron Zemo. And holy fuck, Baron Zemo hasn't even begun. Like the on-screen version of Baron Zemo, this dude ain't what he's done as a human being without any powers as of this point is ridiculous compared to the shit that he can do when he actually starts acquiring the ability to do stuff. So I just want to put y'all out there with that. Like, look forward to the Thunderbolts. If you have no idea who they are, get to know them.
Yeah, we can see it happen. I can't wait. We can see it all kind of coming together in the MCU.
See it happening.
I'm so happy. Yeah.
And Tyrone, this is how they do it. Like, they give us Baron Zemo in Falcon and Winter Soldier. They give us Taskmaster in Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're making these different villains in these different movies, and then they merge them all in a Thunderbolt. How genius is, like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm still, Taskmaster, you know what I'm saying?
General Ross too. Like, General Ross is still around doing his thing. Yeah,
Ross is still, bruh. All I'm saying is, listen. If you don't know Thunderbolts lore, if you are as excited as I was about the Civil War saga, the comic book saga, all right. This Thunderbolts takes place within that realm. And just imagine when the superhero registry became a thing, and then there were certain superheroes, and it's so relevant, Tyrone, because now we have vaccine passports, right? You know what I'm saying? Now we have vaccine mandates, mask mandates, things like that are happening in the real world that you could draw a line to the parallels in these situations. There's superheroes now because of the Superhero Registry Act, that led by one Tony Stark, just like in the comics. All right. Now they have to hunt down and find the superheroes that are refusing to register. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. So they hire the villains who are like, fuck it, we'll register if we can get our records wiped clean, and we'll hunt down these fuckers for you. And then they hunt down the people that normally would be hunting them down, right? But they're the government. Like the way, bro, like the whole complexity of it is so dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? In one particular page, Baron Zemo mentions the fact it's not even Baron Zemo, it's the Mystique, the Mysterio. I forget who it is, but it's one is this Asian. The Radioactive Man. Radioactive Man is like, so let me get this straight. We're forming a group. Y'all always talking shit because Radioactive Man is from China. He's like, y'all always talking shit about China and how forceful the government is. Meanwhile, here we are at the American government that we're trying to find a way to hunt down Captain America and imprison him. Just let what I just said sink on you for a second. Like, we're trying to imprison Captain America. All right. Like, so anyway, I'm sorry. I just thought that was fascinating. I love it when groups like that come together, which is why I'm also happy that Yaz did get a chance to check out the Titans release for this year. The season 3 of the Titans is now out. 3 out of 4 of us are into it. Yeah, and that leaves one curly-haired, deep-voiced gentleman all in the world by himself. Yeah.
You said curly hair. I thought you meant Yaz. And then you said deep voice, and I was like, oh, it's definitely Yaz. I'm totally kidding.
Whoa. I'm out now. Okay?
No, you don't have a deep
no
voice.
Peggy Carter over here. Calm down.
Yeah. Hey, come over here, Cat.
No, I'm looking forward to watching it. It is on the list. 100% is on the list.
Listen. Now I don't know. Honestly, Talim, I don't know whether or not I predict that Tyrone is gonna like this or not. Just considering how he obliterated X-Men 1 and 2. And plus, I don't ever hear Tyrone talking about. Movies? Yeah, I don't ever hear Tyrone, the bad Ty. I don't ever hear Tyrone talking about any of the CW Flash series, any of the Arrowverse. I don't know if that's his jam. You know what I'm saying? And this season of Titans, this Titans series, frankly, is it almost feels like an extension of the CW verse with cursing and sex and violence and more graphic violence. So I don't know. What do you think, Tyrone? Tyleen, do you think that Tyrone's gonna like this if he watches it? I don't.
Can I help with just because I did watch most of the Arrow. And I did watch the first 3 or 4 seasons of the Flash, and I thought CW was doing a good job with the shows.
Arrow,
I thought DC's biggest problem was that they didn't tap into that for their movies. But yeah, so sorry. What do you think? Do you think I'll like it?
Well, hearing that now that I have all the information, I think he will like it. If he liked Arrow and he liked the Flash, then he'll definitely like this because it is just what you described. But I think the storylines and the fact that they're deep diving into certain characters and giving you the first and second season, they give you a lot. They give you backstories. They give you origin story of certain characters. And the fact that they're actually incorporating all of the Titans. That's one of the things I wanted to make sure they did was incorporate all of them. Like Beast Boy, we got a Beast Boy, bro. We got a real live Beast Boy. And it's not just in name. He changes, bro. So man. I think he'll like
Anamorphins type shit. You get to see him it's super cool.
You got all your villains. So they're tapping into Deathstroke. They tap into Joker. They tap into Scarecrow. They tap into all of the DC villains that you're already affiliated with because of Arrow and Flash and all of those different CW joints. You'll also see in this as well.
Yeah, I'm actually frankly Tyrone's his feelings about the CW have given me a little more insight into his psyche. I think I'm starting to understand a little more. I think Tyrone is a plotline guy. All right, Tyrone is all about. Tyrone, are you a book reader? Are you more of a book reader than you are a moviegoer? You give me book reader vibes right now.
I'll take that as a compliment. I don't read as much as I would like to, but I do put a lot of value in story.
Okay. So for you, for instance, I noticed how you guys both Ties said that the Army of the Dead wasn't really that. I mean, it was a fun movie, but it wasn't a good movie.
Right.
And you also said that what was that other movie that I watched that I thought was
Tomorrow War?
Tomorrow War. Yeah, you said Tomorrow War. It was a terrible movie, but it was a good visual or something like that.
It was fun. It was another fun, and I liked it better than Army of the Dead. It was another fun movie, but yeah, not great.
But I'm noticing that you're saying that the Arrowverse was pretty good the first couple seasons, and I will concur 100%. I think the Arrowverse, honestly, is pretty phenomenal if you think about it. Like the Arrowverse is, first of all, the Green Arrow as a comic book character is complete trash. Like there is nothing fascinating.
He's Hawkeye.
a billionaire play. I mean, we heard this story before. All right, the Queen's family. All right, give me a break. Billionaire owns the city, owns everything. Son gets lost on an island. All right, comes back with an arrow. All right, and good marksmanship. And all of a sudden, everybody in the city is like, "You failed this city," and you're like, "Oh shit!" But the script writing is so good. Like every time they end the episode, they reel you right into the middle of that next episode, and you go like look like it's like you start yawning, but you're still you stay on for the whole ride. All 28 episodes per season. Like you're like, holy
so
shit,
yeah.
I'm captivated by this. And somehow that ended up so for you to like that says to me that you probably would like Titans because it is more plot. It is a well-written script.
I just like good stuff.
It's well written.
That's my big secret.
Except when it comes to Batman. I think that they're being real weird, Talim, with the Batman inclusion.
Oh shit.
I don't like
the Titan series.
Yes.
Because they as they should, because it's not about Batman.
It's not about Batman. Exactly.
Titans is basically about the next generation.
Yep.
And they're spotlighting who they should spotlight, which is Nightwing.
Robin.
Nightwing.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Nightwing's story. This is not a Batman story. This is Nightwing's team. This is not Batman's team. So like they touch on Batman as much as they need to.
Yep.
You know, they let you see him briefly because really, honestly, I don't like the guy that plays Batman.
That's the only thing I was trying to say.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The only thing I was trying to say.
I don't like when they casted as Batman. I don't like.
Yeah.
They got Jared Leto playing Batman.
Oh my god.
Nah, man, but they just got this. They got like it seems as though like there is an overabundance of British actors, and it seems like we can never find a good American actor when it comes to putting them in and there was no reason to first of all to have this guy.
So he's like, I'm Batman.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
Batman.
he's an English Batman. And for me, I know for you, and like I'm telling you, when I hear dialects and I hear like those, and I'm like, why is this is not England? Like Batman is not from England.
I don't know why. And you know, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. I mean, this isn't going to take too much away from you because they do kind of tease who Batman is the first two seasons, and then toward the end, there's a big reveal. I'm debating over whether I should tell him who it is or not. Like, I don't know. I
don't tell me. I don't know who it is, so don't tell me.
Okay. I won't tell you. But let's just say it's a character that is not uncommon to HBO series. We'll put it like that. You may or may not have seen.
So is it the dude from Smallville?
No, you mean you're talking about the actor?
Yeah, the actor that plays him. They don't show you. They kind of do the Bruce Wayne in the shadows thing for the first couple seasons, and then they do the big reveal, and you're like, oh, all right, whatever. But the best part about the Titan series, from my opinion, is the delving into the multiple Robin scenarios. And this isn't no spoiler, Tyrone. I mean, you don't have to be a big Batman fan to know that Robin is not Dick Grayson.
Right.
At all times. Like there's multiple Robins.
Oh man, Austin was getting pissed about the facts in this. It was so funny. I wish I could have recorded him.
What was his problem?
So like he was like, Dick Grayson is not Robin. Oh my god, it was like, dude, it was so great. And then he was like, when the Jason Todd, because we're on the first season, when the Jason Todd episode came up, he was like, who the fuck? Jason Todd. He was like, he was not. And then like he went and looked it up, and then he was like trying to tell me something, and I was like, Jason Todd was the second Robin. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, do some fucking research. Dig deeper than you should have seen him. He was like so adamant. Like he's like, this is pissing me off. And then we were watching the Jason Todd episode, and he was like, oh, Jason Todd was the second. Okay. All right. I want
to wish Austin a speedy recovery from that bus that just ran him over.
Into Nightwing. He's like, when the fuck's that gonna happen? And I'm like sitting here like, you gotta wait, they're getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're at that point where he just rescinded, you know what I'm saying, his Robin, and Austin's like, Nightwing's coming, huh? Nightwing's coming. Like, oh my God,
yeah,
that's the best
so
part.
funny.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love the way they unfold this because they do take their time. They
I like it. I'm
they take
loving
their
it.
time and they're very detailed with how they like it. When you see like the transition from Robin to Nightwing, and then the transition from somebody to somebody.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's they're doing that. They're taking their time. You know, we had a couple of people at Megacon. I don't remember their names, and I apologize, but they were like really really big DC fans. They were at the panel, and they were like talking about Starfire and how they want to see her character look more like the character in.
Yeah, she's in here.
Yeah.
I think that's
no.
I think that's Chase chasing his girl.
No,
it's not them.
no.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
But they were saying how they wanted the character to look more like she does, I guess, in the animated version and also in the comic books. And I saw episode 4 last night. I watched it. I was up late and watched it last night. And they are really doing some things and talking about, like I said, they are doing everybody's backstory. They are giving you everything that you need to know about each character, including the villains, by the way. They go into the villain stuff and everything too. So that's that. Look, man, this is a really good series, and it's nice to see DC kind of taking off with the momentum that they got from Suicide Squad and dropping this right around that same time, because it kind of keeps them relevant.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very curious, Yasmin, as to who the fuck Austin thinks Robin is. Like he
so like he knows like, you know, like there's Jason Todd and there's Dick Grayson, you know what I'm saying? Like he knows that, you know, but like he just wasn't sure the sequence of like when they all like came to be Robin, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I was like trying to explain to him, like I was like, well, you gotta think about it. I was like, Dick Grayson's parents died and Batman took him in. I was like, that's how he became the first Robin. Like it wasn't like a choice, you know what I'm saying? It was like it life happened, you know what I mean? And that's what I was trying to explain to Austin, you know, when we were watching this, and why, you know, the character Dick Grayson in the show had so much animosity towards, you know, just Batman in general, you know what I mean? And just like how he shaped his life to be. So I mean, I was like trying to help Austin understand what I already knew, you know what I mean? But he was just like so like that, like Jason Todd's a third Robin. I'm like, no, he's not. Look it up. Like, oh my God. I was like, I can't argue with you and watch at the same time. I was like, so use your internet while I'm watching. And like he looked it up. What?
I'm really starting to want to see a Yaz and Austin watches shit series. Like I really think
reality TV show.
Yeah, man, there's something there, man. Like, yo, just you and Austin watching shit should be its own shit, man. Like I want to see that shit. Like I want to see Austin like, dude, what the fuck is he talking about, man? He's not dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Do your research. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was heated. You should have seen him. Like I'll ask him if we can record one of our heated battles, you know, while we're watching the show. Because we've had them a lot with the whole throughout the show, you know, just like with Starfire and Raven and just some of the backgrounds with them, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, and like how like Raven's parents, you know, like came to whatever in the show and everything. So like it's definitely been interesting, I'll tell you that. But I mean, like, you know, we're hardcore fans of Teen Titans, so the fact that he's like trying to argue with me about shit I already know about, it was just like way too funny. I'm just like sitting here like looking at him getting all like, oh, I know what's going on, I got this, and I'm like, no, you don't. Just use your phone, let me finish watching this, and then we can talk about it after.
Yeah, because we still haven't we still haven't even got to the real Robin based on the Titans, right? You know, which is Damian, which is Batman's son.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We haven't even scratched the surface of the Robins, because they're now in this season 3 are implementing a new Robin, and the new Robin is I believe Black and Asian. So and he's not Damian. So we still got another Robin before we get to Damian. So
and let's talk about the new Robin because you know, it has been revealed that as of late that our Robin may be getting a little bit of action, some action of the the same persuasion kind. And that's something that has some people riled up, and some people are excited. Some people don't give a fuck. Some people say, hey, it is what it is. You do what you do, live your life. Some people say live your life out there. Some people say live your life just away from me. But the one thing is for certain, and that is one of the Robins is looking for another Robin. And the way it came about is this Robin actually he saved somebody, and toward the end of that whole thing, the young man asked him out for coffee, and Robin has to decide whether or not that's something he's open to or not. And so the struggles of his sexuality are now introduced into the Batman saga. And I, for one, me personally, me as somebody who's open for all equality of all sorts, I'm happy for it. I want to see it. I want it to be more integrated. I want them to be able to, I want, people of all persuasions to feel welcome into the comic book world. I hope it doesn't bring any hatred into the world, because I know a lot of people are very anti just because that's not what they grew up with. But I wouldn't be opposed to seeing this. Now, I personally, as I've already told y'all, I don't want to see anybody kissing at all. I don't care how long y'all been married. Like, I'm just against affection in general. Like, okay. I don't want to see. When we was at Megacon, I was like, yo, Ty, you and your wife, y'all a little too close to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to see like people get along at all. Like in this picture, it made me uncomfortable that y'all was like latching arms. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like any of that. So for me, that's the part.
You say you like any of that?
Yeah, I don't want to see any of that shit. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. I don't fuck your marriage. All right. I don't just keep that shit behind closed doors. All of us should be in the closet when it comes to sexuality. You shouldn't tell. No, I don't care how hetero, homo. I don't give a fuck what the fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
I just say normalize it. If that's the case, just normalize it. Don't spotlight it, because that's what I hate. Like don't spotlight my heterosexuality. Don't spotlight his sexuality. Like just normalize it. If they're in a relationship, they're in a relationship. But don't make this like all about that.
Well, like, you know what I mean? Like, let me stop you right there, Ty, because some people will think that even trying to normalize it is accentuating it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could take the same exact storyline, let's say between Barry Allen and what's old girl name in Flash? His love interest, the black girl. I forget the girl's name. Somebody in the comments set me straight. The black girl in the Flash.
Flash. Why is this? And I watch this all the time. Why is this?
Daisy.
No, Daisy. Don't do that.
Not Daisy. Not Daisy. It's something like that.
Zach.
Iris. Okay, my bad.
Yes.
They're like screaming.
He's like, hey, Daisy. Iris.
God damn it! How dare you?
You know.
What's her name? Cornea. Eyelash.
Half the deal.
Billie Eilish. Like, say that it was the exact same love's interest, but it was, instead of it being a young lady, it was a man. Anybody who's caught up on this notion that if it's about gay folks, it somehow is them force feeding it to you, they would say that love interest, that plot line is being forced down their throat. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to some people, just the introduction or the inclusion of a non-traditional relationship in the wheelhouse of a mainstream format is the industry or Hollywood force feeding you something that you don't need to be. Now you got to tell your kids. I saw this meme the other day that made me. I was like, I feel bad for people nowadays. You got to explain who a he is and a she is and who a he she is and who is, like, that's not that difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because we got to do it nowadays, it's not going to take my whole life. It's not going to fuck up my whole day. Like, this shit has existed. They just had to do it in the shadows. And if we're supposed to be the United States of America where one is free and all is free, then we should have been doing that stuff. So we playing catch up right now. So I, for one, am not opposed to. I welcome a gay plot line.
See what I'm saying? He's like, see what you did? No, but you see, that's what I'm talking about. You just made the plot line. It's like a gay plot line. It's not a gay plot line.
Dare I say there may be plenty of plot holes in this story.
Oh man, look at you, bro.
All right, that was bad.
No, I think, but Ty's use of the word normalized, though, I think is important because that's the thing. Is like you ultimately we want to get to a place where you're just like, oh, okay, here's this character, and here's his powers, and and he's gay, and he's what? Right. Like it's just something that is, you know what I mean? Like to where we don't even think about it. You know, it's just okay. This person is this now. That's how representation works. That's how normalizing works. Get it to the point where it's not always a reaction thing. Like we don't ever react to heterosexual couples on screen because that's just what we've been taught is quote normal. So when we help to normalize homosexual relationships or anything that is somewhere on that spectrum that's not where we are, it helps to make it less of a reaction, less of a thing, to where one day we wouldn't even see these headlines. It'll just be like, hey, we got a new character and it's awesome.
Yeah, because that's where the force feeding. I think that because you mentioned force feeding, and I think that's where some people come in with that idea of being force fed is when you make it changes the whole movie plot from just being a plot to now it's the gay plot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, like because we added this aspect of his nature to the movie, now it has to be magnified on screen. Nah, it doesn't. It's just he just happens to like guys instead of girls. So like it shouldn't be any different. Like with Flash, you probably see Iris and Barry, yeah. You see Barry and Iris kiss maybe 3 or 4 times in like 8 seasons. So it's not a lot. It's not like they're always hugging. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they spotlight their relationship. I mean, of course, we know
they do. Like it's the Flash is basically the Flash because of Iris. Like
no,
not really. It's because of his dad and because of his
It's because of their family dynamic. It's because they all are down for each other. That's kind of what it is with him and the team. That's what it is with him and Iris and the rest of the family. Is that family dynamic? As long as we got each other, then we can get through anything. That's what that is. It's not just spotlighting him and Iris. Him and Iris are in love, so of course it seems like they're spotlighting Iris. But Iris has kind of created her own identity throughout these series. So it's not just that. But yeah, man, I normalize it. Let's just keep it moving. Like Robin likes.
Let me interrupt you. In order to normalize it, you got to announce it. I mean, don't you? Right? In order to normalize it,
you don't.
You gotta. Don't you? I mean, listen. Hold on. Let me hear me out. This article that is on the screen right now is not a DC article, right? This isn't an article that was generated by Detective Comics. This is the world catching on to the news that they released that was not a headline. Like they didn't have on the cover "Gay Robin episode 3." Like it wasn't. That's not how it was. This is the world reacting to DC normalizing this in their comic. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a big deal. It was an episode in which at the end of it, one of the last pages decided to have him showing up at somebody who offered him a date's house and him accepting the offer to go to coffee with him. But the headlines picked it up because it's not normal, because it's different, because it's not a usual storyline that's in a mainstream comic. And so in order to make it so that it is, one day you'll put an article like this up and you'll be like, so what? But now it's not. Now it gets shared hundreds of thousands of times because it's different. And I think that's a part of the normalization process. Is it not?
No, I thought normalization is kind of not bringing attention to it. Is what makes it normal? Because like if I'm a dater in a world of dating, and it's not really something to spotlight because everybody does it. You know what I'm saying? So like the only reason this is being spotlighted is because it's a guy. And that's why I'm saying the normalization comes in the fact of looking at the dynamic of it as guy, girl, all of it being the same. Therefore, you don't bring attention to it because it's a guy. Now, if you're bringing attention to it because it's a date, that's different. But the fact that you say, oh, he's coming out of the closet, he was on a date with a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where the difference comes, and you're like now, kind of singling it out from the normal, dating, environment. That's
but I want to help because Vince, you made a really good point. It's the world's reaction, and so when it comes to like the normalizing it is like because you can't control the reaction. So like Vince was saying, they wrote it to where it's like, hey, here's just a thing that's happening, just like any other thing that's happening in the story, and then the reaction is what it is. And so that's the kind of nuance there. So the normalization can't necessarily be done by just one. So it can't be done in the script or in the story because you're like, here's a character and here's what he would do, and that's just what it is. And then the audience is a whole other thing. The audience is like, oh, wait a minute, I picked up on something, or I feel this way about this, and I got to go share my feelings. And so the normalization is, or the ultimate goal of something being normalized is to say it's becoming a thing that is not so uncommon that we have to talk about it every time it happens. We can just say, oh, it's a thing that is happening. It's to give an example, it's sort of like how a lot of straight people are starting to call their significant others their partners in a way to help normalize identifying somebody as a partner, so it doesn't seem so it doesn't seem like such a big deal when somebody who's homosexual says it, or when somebody who's pansexual or bisexual, whatever. So we just all use partner, so we can all it's just a common thing. That's just kind of like the theory behind that. So there's a lot of nuance. It's not, normalization isn't necessarily one thing or the other. There's a lot of nuance in between, and it's part reaction, it's part in this case writing and presentation, and ultimately it's all this part of it. I think ultimately is all positive. It's all in the right direction, and I think the conversation is the right conversation.
And I just want to be clear, like when I was speaking, I was actually really just speaking in the direction of the writers. I wasn't really speaking in the direction of the respondent. And that's why I said when I'm speaking of normalization, I'm just like, if you're going to put it out there, just put it out there, but don't try to spotlight it. Don't make like, don't dedicate all of, a whole 2-3
I
scenes.
understand what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, and to that, I will say, just to kind of be a little bit contrarian, that it sounds like that's what they did in this situation. I don't know for sure, I haven't read it, but it sounds, based on what Vince is saying, like that's what they did. But if we take something like like Spider-Man, for example, like how much of Spider-Man is him and Mary Jane or him and Gwen Stacy? You know what I mean? Like, and nobody bats an eye because it's a guy and a girl. You know what I mean? But if all of a sudden he was interested in Harry Osborn, you might be like,
whoa,
I don't know if I like this.
That's a different scenario though, Tyrone, simply because that was a Spider-Man movie. This is
I'm talking about just in general, not movies. I'm talking about in general.
In general.
The Spider-Man story is part of Mary Jane. That's just such a big part of the story. Their love interest or whatever. Yeah. So it's, and the normalization part of it is, if you did have a story about a man being interested in another man, it's just okay, that's fine. And and then move on. But you can have that story, and you can have a beautiful love story about two men. You know what I mean? Instead of it being a big okay, now it's a story about gay guys and coming out of the closet, and its effect on everybody watching and stuff like that. So it's a little bit like I said, there's a lot of nuance there, and we're all kind of taking this journey together. But the normalizing would be, if the story calls for, like in this case, if the story calls for one man asking another man out on a date, that's just part of the story, like any other story.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, hold on, what's this? Nobody bats an eye, they spider.
That's dark.
That's
Spider and I.
Came over from comedy.
Yo, hold on.
Yeah.
So to Ty's point, and I think it's a good point, but I think that the problem I have with his point, frankly, is that it's not necessarily tackling the reality of the subjects, right? Because Ty's basically saying, look, don't make it a big deal. Just do it like you would a normal romance. All right, if they love each other, they two gay people, that don't make a difference. They don't have to necessarily make it an episode in which it's like, in episode 16, gay Robin kisses his gay, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't have to be like put on blast like that. Yeah, but the problem I have with that notion is that no matter, and to some people, just the inclusion of the storyline in itself will feel like putting it in their face, just because they're so averse to that notion, right? So you could bottle it up, you can make it a little Easter egg, like I'm saying, like you could make it something where it's like you see Robin and his gay lover in a picture in the back of the scene over the fire, and somebody be like, God damn it, look, I just wanted to watch Titans, and now I got all this gay shit down my throat. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, but you can't overextend it. There are ways to do it where it is seamless, right? Like I would argue that one thing that the Arrowverse did was they gave us Mr. Terrific, right?
That was not subtle.
If you watched Mr. it wasn't, but they did not announce it. Like it wasn't like it didn't catch headlines. You didn't see Mr. Terrific. It was a part of the series. You met Mr. Terrific. You was like, oh, that's interesting. He's got leather on his face. All right, it is what it is. And we just kind of took it as his. He had his partner. I didn't think that it was overdone. All right. I didn't think that it was. In fact, we don't even see any real PDA from them in the series. They're just kind of like two gay couples, a gay couple talking and about being careful and all and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. They've done it in multiple series, bro. Walking Dead. There was a gay couple in Walking Dead. It wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we went ahead and we took it as what it was and what it is. So this isn't that. I don't think Talim. I don't think this is DC trying to spotlight. I think DC did their thing and they're trying to be inclusive, and it made news because it's different. Because that's what happens. That's what news is. When Superman died, that was different. That was something that made national headlines. Like it was on the covers of newspapers. Like, oh shit, Superman is dead. You know what I'm saying? That was a big deal. The notion of Spider-Man when he became a clone, when Ben Reilly and the Scarlet Spider became in the forefront, that made headline news because it was different. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Robin being gay is a turn from what they've. I mean, when Green Lantern. When one of the Green Lanterns became gay, they announced that stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's just a matter of them being gay. I think it's news that deters from what we're accustomed to in the mainstream of these comics. So I don't.
That's been the case with comics from day one. I mean, when we first started getting black superheroes, when we didn't have any black superheroes, it's the same way that we're getting, gay and LGBTQ plus the community. Being included into this comic book realm as well. So I get it. And again, like I'm not knocking anybody for what they believe in, who they love, or any of those cases. I'm just saying, like, I would love to just watch it, you know what I'm saying? And like just let me see it. You know what I mean? Like, and if there's backlash or whatever the case may be because of the reaction, then I mean nobody can control that. Nobody can control the reaction, but I haven't even yet. I've yet to see this boy. I've yet to see this individual, this Tim Drake character on screen yet, and we're already talking about his sexuality.
Okay, this is Tim Drake.
No. I know. I mean, what I mean is we haven't seen him as Robin on screen yet on on the show. Like we know, I've seen him. I know who he is on the show. I'm just saying, like we haven't even delved into his character yet, and we're already talking about him going on a date with her.
I mean, we kind of have. We've kind of delved into his character a little bit. You've already talked about him being half Asian and half black, right?
That's it. That's it. Like I watched the same episodes you watch. What else?
That's enough. I mean, that's something. I mean, we've delved into. We know who his family is. We know that he's.
Hold on a second. So delving in is we know his ethnicity.
We know his family. We know where he works. All right.
We know his name and we know his ethnicity.
Nigga, Titans 3 is a Tim Drake origin story. If you haven't noticed this yet, like we're basically it's hard to not give things away, but the very first scene in the new Titans series is one that changes the course of the series. Mm-hmm. All right. And then with that, the remainder of the only 3 episodes we've seen thus far have been developing this character, Tim Drake, of who is also the topic of all of these headlines. So, yeah, we're being overexposed there, I would say, to Tim Drake right now.
Well, let me ask you this, because I fell asleep on last night because I was tired and I didn't get to see the end.
I'm not up to part to see the 4th episode yet.
Okay, well, with that being said, the other episodes that we have seen, we saw him one time. one episode.
What?
We've seen him once. Yes, we saw him on the episode that. What I mean is, we saw him on one episode. We saw him on the 2 scenes that you're talking about. The one where he, and then that one. That's all we've seen him. But you're saying this is an origin story about him, and we've only seen him one time, and we all we know is that he's Asian and black, and that he works for a delivery company.
Yeah, his
so
own
family. But outside of that, we know nothing else about this boy other than now that he dates boys. That's it.
Well, I mean, that's a spoiler because it comes from. But what we do know is that. Oh man, see, fuck.
I don't mind. You can spoil whatever you want.
I can't talk about it because it's going to spoil it for the left half of the screen. So we'll have to revisit this, guys. Please catch up the Titans. It's only what's it like 8 episodes per season or something like that?
No, there's 12.
Oh, there's 12. Okay, cool.
All right, my bad. All right.
We moved up. We moved up in the world since they got the HBO Max. Hey,
there's 12.
All right. Well, 12 is pretty cool. Well, listen, guys. We've already done 2 weeks worth of episodes today. All right. So, damn, as much as we love to be on here all day, some of us, Tyrone, have things to do. I personally
come by my house
because I get to jump off of here and jump right on Avengers.
I'm surprised we went this whole episode and you did not once pull up the new Eternals trailer.
Well,
you didn't even say nothing about it, like nothing.
Well, I wanted to talk about it. I actually had it queued up, but then I got this scathing private chat message from Tyrone saying, "Look,
oh, I just said I have to bounce soon. I never said anything about y'all having to stop. If y'all want to do hour 5, by all means."
Tyrone was like, "Listen, my nigga, what the fuck? A motherfucker like me got shit to do today. We end this shit that you said was going to end in 2 hours.
That was huge, bro. That was huge. That new trailer was huge, bro.
The trailer was. I haven't watched it.
Oh my god!
I will not watch any of these trailers, bro. I won't. And before we Tyrone, we're gonna all go at the same time, man. Don't worry, man. We're gonna get you out of here in time. We want your house to get sold as much as the next man. But I will say as we close out that I didn't watch the Eternals trailer, and it was actually written.
You're doing a disservice to our viewers.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll watch it with you. If you want to stay on after this and do a review of it, I'm with that. But no,
it's that good. It's that good. Oh man, it will probably be the best Marvel movie we've seen since Avengers Infinity War.
Have you seen the trailer? Yes.
Yeah, I did watch it, but like when we were talking about it in the chat before we went live, I muted you guys and I watched it.
God damn, y'all don't give a fuck about us, bro.
I love y'all, but I'm just saying if we're just like bullshitting before we go on, I'm gonna watch the thing I need to watch. You know what I mean? You know me.
But it's super dope. Super dope.
In closing, I'll say that the whole phenomenon of watching trailers, in my opinion, is supposed to garner interest. If I'm already interested, there's no reason for me to watch it. It's one of the same reasons why Marvel has decided to not release the No Way Home version trailer for the Spider-Man 3 upcoming series. Even though Kevin Feige is now saying that it spoils things that come. It may spoil things that come in some of these upcoming movies, so they're not going to release until much closer to the movie.
Why they haven't released that? It's because Tom Holland cannot keep his mouth shut, so they're not going to let him you know what I'm saying? They're not going to give him that opportunity so that he could be on screen like, oh, the new trailer's coming out. It's going to be fantastic. You got anything new that you want to tell us? He's like, I do. Yeah, they're not. They made that mistake once. They're not doing it again. That's why we're not doing the trailer.
That also speaks to the level of security that Tom Holland has in that job, because the Marvels be telling everybody else, we'll fire the shit out of you if you leak some shit. Tom be like, don't tell me then.
Literally said, don't tell me then.
Don't tell me then. I'm telling you, I'm leaking it.
Wow. Well, anyway, I think we can delve into that a little more next week, since next week will be my last week here. It'll be driven. I'll be trying to make the episodes for the few weeks after that. But yeah, next week we'll get into that, and hopefully some Shang-Chi, because that releases the following week, if I'm not mistaken, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna go and see the Free Guy today in the theaters. I hope that's as good as they're saying it is. I'm hearing nothing but good things.
Free Guy, yeah, it's supposed to be really good. I can't wait to watch it.
Free Guy,
yeah, Free Guy. Yeah. It's on your Fire Stick. Check it out.
All right, I will.
She knows how to speak Thai.
I will.
I
You
got
know
you.
me. You
It's
know me.
Ryan Reynolds is in the movie. He's the main character in the movie, and apparently it has some like some little Easter eggs about Marvel movies. Apparently, in them.
That's
So
what I heard, yeah.
we all have to definitely watch that for sure.
So this is
Yeah,
a
man.
sci-fi movie.
I'm sorry.
I think it's an action movie. I don't know if it's sci-fi.
I think it's more action. It's action movie.
But I'll let you know after I go see it in the movie theater today. Which is what I'm going to do.
You and COVID enjoy that popcorn.
Make sure no one's sitting behind you, though.
Yeah, I will definitely watch my back, so to speak. But man, let's get about it before Tyrone leaves us abruptly, man. Man, good to see everybody, man. Make sure y'all go to the New Blerd Order page and like all of the pictures. If you want to see some more Megacon, Yaz put up photo dumps, buckets, loads for your face. To watch in the joint. And as we always say, man, I mean, we normally do, we're running late, so we'll go ahead and speed this up. Please make sure whatever it is you do, be your authentic self. If you're not being yourself, you're being fake. And make sure in all things, if you a true nerd, if you a geek, then let that geek flag fly.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief, only Ken and Ra. I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and the uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear.